here we go. This is episode 20 with Nathaniel Cates. How's it going, man?
I am doing pretty good, actually. We've had a couple beers. Things are going very smoothly as
Yeah, very smoothly.
very smooth.
Okay. Yeah. Well, I just got kicked out of my recording studio.
Oh my
In
god,
quotes, recording studio.
quote unquote, yeah.
Whatever.
Kicking you out of a movie theater.
Yeah. Oh, well. But anyways, so we're here recording this episode. This is episode 20, and I just got to say thanks to everybody who's been listening to this. It's been great. I haven't expected so many listens. It's pretty intense, honestly.
Be ready for the worst podcast you've heard so far.
Dude, there's been a couple that have been pretty bad. I'm not going to name any names, but I've had fun on all of them, I have to say.
I want to be the worst. That's my goal. I want to be the worst. I want to be the most boring one out of all of them. Have you seen that episode? Have you listened to the James Hetfield podcast on Joe Rogan?
Dude, I did.
Dude, that seemed like that. Okay, I was so excited to listen to that because I was like, "Fuck, man!" Like Joe Rogan got James Hetfield on. That was hands down the most boring fucking podcast.
Half the time they were talking about bees.
Talking about bees, dude, and like, oh my god, bro! Like I thought, I was like, okay, they're gonna talk about like the history of Metallica. It's gonna be cool as shit, but no, he talked about bees for an hour.
Dude,
That's what I want this to be. I want this to be the most boring out of all of them.
All right, you're gonna have a tough job beating that.
Talking about bees.
No, I'm just joking. But yeah, they probably could have talked less about bees. But yeah, dude, I had the same mentality you did. I went to go.
Like, what the fuck?
I was like, hell yeah, Metallica's cool as fuck. I'm gonna go listen to James Hetfield on Joe Rogan, and
he's getting old.
He like brings up bees, and he's like, oh, your viewers don't want to listen about this. And Joe Rogan's like, yes, they do, man. Keep talking. And I was like, you motherfucker.
I felt like it could have been one of those situations where Joe is just like, so James, tell me about the prime of Metallica. And he's like, well, when we were young, we used to do all this crazy stuff and drink and all this stuff, but that doesn't matter. Let me tell you about my bees. What do you think about my bees, dude?
Right. It's just, I don't know. It was kind of weird.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
But I don't like, that's how most of them go though. On Joe Rogan's podcast, like when he gets artists on, they don't talk about their music.
Yeah. Have you seen oh my God, this is going to be a long conversation about Joe Rogan, but I think my favorite one is the one with Kanye West. Have you listened to that one?
I haven't yet.
Dude, it's, first of all, you're lucky because it's that bad. Like, oh my God, it's literally like, if you watch like the actual, like the YouTube version of it, like it's just him talking about himself and God for like 3 hours.
Like the highlights?
I think they pan to Joe Rogan like maybe twice. And then like Kanye will talk for like an hour, and then it'll pan to Joe, and he's just like, "Wow,
dude."
And then it'll go back to Kanye talking about God.
Yeah, Joe Rogan's saying "wow" because he's never met such a crazy fucking person. Like holy shit! He's like, "Whoa, this all came out of your head just now."
This dude's out of his mind, man. He's talking about putting 100,000 people in a stadium and singing about how great God is.
I mean, he could do it. If anybody could, it's him.
Anybody? Yeah, exactly.
I don't know. Joe Rogan could do it if he did it under the guise of something else.
Yeah, talk about like aliens. They'll be like, "Hey, we're gonna put 100,000 people in a stadium to try to summon aliens." I bet it would work.
Oh yeah,
because I'm pretty sure that's like exactly what like 90% of his fan base listens to his podcast for, is like to hear about like psychedelics and aliens.
Dude, the alien ones have to be the most popular episodes.
Oh, dude, I agree. That's why I listen to it. Like,
yeah, they have to be.
I will 100% admit that. Like, that's literally why I listen to it.
Listen to one of the recent ones, the Michio Kaku one.
Yeah,
sounds good, man.
Yeah,
they're talking about all sorts of like crazy like theories about alien civilizations and shit, and
those are always the best ones because like those.
It's crazy because Michio Kaku is like one of the renowned physicists in the like scientist community, and he's talking about aliens. It's like, what the fuck? This is crazy. Like it's not like putting a tinfoil hat on anymore. It's like you're actually talking about real life shit.
It's normal now,
Yeah,
people
it's normal.
And that kind of stuff, and I think it's because human beings in general, they just can't comprehend exactly what people are talking about. So they're fascinated by like I said, they're fascinated by things they can't comprehend, because, nobody actually knows, but those are always the best ones. I will humbly admit right now that, like, I mainly listen to Joe Rogan for like the alien podcast and sometimes the political ones, but other than that, like I mean, I guarantee that's like 90% of his listener base as well.
Yeah, I think the other part of it is like conspiracy theories and stuff.
That ties in with the alien thing, though. You know what I mean? Like it ties in with
Yeah, I
how
mean,
much you actually believe in that kind of shit.
it's kind of technically a conspiracy theory,
Yeah,
but at the same time, it's like there's so much evidence.
yeah.
Like,
I mean, I believe
the
I
only
believe 100%.
conspiracy is that it's being hidden.
Yeah, well, I mean, yeah, exactly. That's literally like that's why people get so into it because they're like, fuck, man, the government's hiding this shit from me, man. Like aliens are real, they're visiting us. What the hell, bro? You know what I mean?
Well, they just grasp at straws. Nobody knows what it is. It could be aliens, but I mean, like, what if it was like a civilization that existed here before us, or some shit, or like a civilization that existed after us, and they figured out a way to time travel?
I genuinely agree with that.
Either of those are equally possible.
Yeah.
Like at this point in time, like we don't know.
I mean, you're right though.
What it's not is it is not another government or the U.S. government controlling these drones. It's definitely not that. I'm like 90% sure this is not possible that humans are piloting these things.
Yeah, I feel like
it's gonna get fast.
I feel like the breaking point is when we're gonna actually know is when civilization gets to the point where we're just doing too much destructive shit. You know what I mean? Like we're being too destructive of the earth. We're doing all this kind of crazy stuff, and then finally, like the aliens or whatever they are, just like intervene. They're like, "All right, you crazy fucking bastards! Like, it's relax." You know what I mean? Like, stop fucking being stupid. You know what I mean?
Because that's the 50s.
Yeah, I mean,
they've controlled, like there's been weird accounts of our systems like failing at certain times
right.
for
Well, I mean, I wouldn't even say since the 50s. I would just say in general, like just I guess I'm just natural pessimist in general, but dude, humans suck. Like they really do. Like,
yeah,
they really fucking do. I would hope at some point in time that some sort of like foreign civilization from a different planet or whatever would intervene and be like, hey, you guys need to chill the fuck out. Like, stop being stupid. Stop being cruel to each other. You know what I mean?
Well, I think what it comes down to is like people get excited over the concept, like, oh, I can get one up over this person. Oh, I can get one up over millions of people.
Well,
I can be the leader in weapons technology.
That's just the definition of. I mean, I think that's like the unwritten definition of human life in general. Is it's like it's not about how can we all do things together better. It's how can I better myself, to make my life better and make this. It's all about me. It's all about this. It's all about that. You know what I mean? Like that's. I genuinely do believe that that's the unwritten rule of humanity.
Oh yeah, I mean,
it's all about us. It's all about me. It's not all about us. It's all about me. Yeah, it's not all about us.
Even with animals, man. That's how it is with animals. I mean, that's why animals eat other animals. They don't give a fuck about the other animals.
Right.
They just want to eat.
Right.
Like, so it's like, at a certain point, it's a human condition to just want more than the next guy or whatever. But, it's like, at some point, you're doing this at the expense of like hundreds of millions of people. It gets crazy. But I don't know. I don't remember how we got on the subject. How were they taking advantage of us in the first place? There's so many different options here.
Well, I mean, that's why it's interesting. You know what I mean? Just because people don't know the answer to that kind of stuff. They're just like, it's aliens, bro. Aliens are everything, dude. What if it's not aliens at all? What if it's just like some crazy simulation and there's just like some dude who's, like sitting behind a computer screen just fucking with all of us right now?
A simulation? Yeah. You think he's just like, like manipulating the sensors on like
some douchebag
F-18s and shit?
I think some like neck-bearded douchebag who's just sitting behind a computer going, I'm gonna fuck with these people today. Like,
yeah, it's that guy who points out all the stupid videos and is like, oh, look at all this, look at these artifacts, look at this.
That's what he highlights them. He's just like, everybody needs to watch this right now, and then like get things going. But in reality, it's just some dude who like has no life sitting behind a computer screen manipulating.
Have you seen any of the guys who created documentaries for UFOs? If you've actually seen them, like
that's a good point, though. Dude, like that's actually
you just described every guy who's made a UFO documentary.
I've never seen him. I mean, there was that one dude. There was I think it was Jeremy Corbell was his name, the dude who was on Rogan a few times. Yeah. Dude, oh my god, that dude. you just look straight at him and you're like, that dude's full of shit.
Nerd.
Like, he's
Nerd.
fucking loser. You know what I mean?
Hey, man, I mean, he has more info than I do, though. I gotta give him that.
That's why I was like, that's a good point, because like everybody,
He talks to more people who are closely involved with that than I do.
who are all just like,
He knows more than me.
crazy. Yeah, like I said, man, you just look at a guy like that and you're like, you know, he's like your typical metalhead in public. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like every metalhead is like a good guy, but you know, you like somebody who's not a metalhead will see a metalhead in public and immediately assume like, oh, he does drugs. You know, he does drugs. He worships Satan. Whatever.
I don't know, dude. In Phoenix, it's pretty easy to tell people apart.
That's a good point.
The druggies are always next to people who don't do the drugs. You can always tell them apart. Like, it's very easy when they're next to each other. Like, in a place like, I don't know, like California or something, if you're walking through Hollywood as like a metalhead with like the fucking patched vest and, you know, everything black, and like, you know, even if you got piercings and tattoos and shit, people are going to turn their heads, you know. In Phoenix, no. Nobody gives a shit. They're worried about the tweaker who may or may not have a gun.
That's a good point. I didn't even think about that. I think it was like, you know, I mean, it's a vague assumption people would be like, oh, that guy's a metalhead. Oh, well, he does drugs. Well, it's the same concept that, I mean, I guess the kind of way that I see like a guy like Jeremy Corbell is I just look at him and I'm like, yeah, that dude's full of shit. But maybe he's right. You know, you never really know.
Well, yeah, I mean, he could be. He, like I said, he has more information than I do. All I have
made a lot of money
is
from
Google and YouTube.
Huh?
All I have is Google and YouTube and the Joe Rogan podcast. But when I think metalheads, I associate like one specific drug. It's alcohol.
Well, like we're doing right now, drinking.
I love beer, dude. So maybe that's the reason I associate it. I don't know. Maybe I'm part of the problem.
Well, I mean, like beer in general, I've become really snobby with beer too. Like I don't know, like.
Well, that's unique.
The more and more like you drink different kinds of beer, the more you realize like what kind of acquired taste you have. You know, so like I tend to prefer more like darker, heavier beers in general, as opposed to like, I mean, there's obviously like, you know, the shitty beer like the Coors and the PBR and stuff like that, which is great. I love those beers. Like if you want to get hammered, just like, dude, give me 12 pack or give me a, you know, a 12 pack 24 whatever the hell of Coors or PBR or whatever. We'll drink the whole thing.
Sometimes I feel like drinking 12 beers at a time.
12 beers.
That's the Coors way.
Not
right?
down 20 beers at once. You know what I mean?
Hey, 12 is like a starting point. It's like a normal, like, you know, and if I'm feeling, you know, on these podcasts, I like to get the higher alcohol percentage, so I can sit with one can and like sip on it for a little bit while I'm talking, and it still gets me the same buzz.
Well, because like right now I'm like, because you gave me, because I brought I don't even remember what I brought, but you gave me the Santan Moon Juice, which is
you brought that Hawaiian beer. I forgot what it's called.
It was good, whatever it was. It wasn't an IPA though, which is the weird part about it. It was I found it was on sale at QT and I bought it, and it was just a regular like ale, and it was delicious. I liked it a lot, but this Santan Moon Juice, the Galactic IPA, it's like
Moon Juice is dope.
Dude, it's delicious. I think it's like your budget IPA, the perfect budget IPA in my opinion. There's a few of them, but I like more crafty beers, more IPAs, more fancy stuff, you know. Like I said, you know, the more beer you drink, the snobbier you get about it.
Yeah, well, I'm on the same page with you on that. I like my good beers, man. It's definitely better. I just can't buy Coors anymore.
Dude, Coors Light, PBR. I mean, just the cheap beer in general. Like, I've gotten to the point to where, you know, like, I just drink it because I want to get hammered. Like, I don't drink it because I want to, like, you know, enjoy a beer. Like, if I'm trying to get hammered, I'm not gonna buy fancy IPAs or anything like that. You know, I'm gonna buy fucking cheap PBR and just drink 30 beers at once and get sloshed hammered.
Yeah, I know what you mean, man. I like to I just like the taste. You know, the flavor is where it's at. I like beers that taste like orange. You know, like there's a lot of IPAs that have like the orange flavor.
You like the orange blossom?
There's one specifically that tastes like orange juice, just straight up. It's 21st Amendment Brewery. It's called
amazing.
Blood Orange IPA.
Yeah, that's
it has Abraham Lincoln on the front, crushing an orange. Like it's the Mount Rushmore version. So he's like a golem Abraham Lincoln, like a stone version of him crushing a blood orange, and there's like blood everywhere. It's a really cool package.
There was oh my god, I can't remember what it was called. Club Red used to serve. They used to serve it like, I don't know if it was like a constant thing, but they used to serve it sometimes during shows, and it was like a peanut butter like milk stout. Have you ever heard of that? You know what milk stout is, right?
It sounds like a Santan beer.
I don't know what the fuck it was, but like I haven't found it anywhere else. But like they used to like they would serve like a peanut butter like milk stout, and it was, oh my god, dude, it was the best beer. It was like eating dessert. It was just like, it was a milk stout, it was like a really heavy beer, but like with the taste of like peanut butter and fucking sugar. It was so
Dessert
good.
beers are tough for me. Like I have to be in the mood for those.
Yeah,
Like they don't always hit well, but
yeah,
like Santan makes one called Sex Panther. It's like
that's
a
awesome.
double chocolate stout. It's like it's
And it's called Sex
ridiculously
Panther.
yeah, it's a heavy ass fucking beer, and but it's a gold can,
Yeah,
and it has a panther with sunglasses and a gold suit. Like it's ridiculous. Dude. The logo is ridiculous,
to be
but
honest with you,
it's
I
a heavy. It tastes like straight up chocolate. It's good, but it's like a dessert beer for sure.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I haven't even tried it, but that's probably gonna become my new favorite beer just by the name alone. Sex Panther. It's
Sex
fucking
Panther.
awesome.
Yeah, it's good, man.
I like. There was a beer I had one time. It was like I think it was like a s'mores flavored beer or something like that. But it was like it's like an IPA, but it was a s'mores flavored IPA. And it was fucking delicious, dude. Like that was.
A s'mores IPA.
Yeah, it was so good. Like it sounds like the most ridiculous combination, but dude, it was delicious. I loved it. I loved everything about it.
Huh.
Yep.
You know, remember the brand?
No, I don't. Not at all.
Dude, there's this place like a mile down the road. Not even. It's like right across the freeway from here. It's this store. It's like all dedicated to beer. It's a craft beer store. It's literally called craft beer.
Because I know there's a place closer to across the freeway called the Beer Store, which I haven't got to go to yet. My friend Ryan has referred it numerous times, but apparently it's the same thing, huh?
It might be the store. I don't know, but
Yeah.
they have like tall cans there that are like $8 a piece, and like these tiny microbreweries around. It's like they got a whole bunch of local beers, right?
Yeah.
So they have like all these cans that seem like they're overpriced, but it's just like it's because they're small local businesses. They can't afford the big ass fucking production canning facilities or whatever.
Right.
So it's like I don't know. I'd be willing to try them. Like.
Try anything. I mean, like usually the smaller businesses, like it just, I mean, that's not just with beer, but in general. Like for instance, when it comes to food, you know, you go to like a mom and pop shop or something like that, to like, you know, like a mom and pop's restaurant. You know, they always have the best fucking food. Like it's always.
Well, not always.
Well,
sometimes it's one way or the other.
Well, I mean,
you either get really good food or really shitty food.
Yeah, that's
a gamble.
That's the gamble you got to be willing to take, though, especially with alcohol. Is like there's sometimes where it's like, if you pick up a beer that you've never tasted before and you're like, man, that sounds good, and you open it and you take a drink of it and you're like, this is disgusting, but you don't finish it, like you're a fucking dick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I try to finish every beer I open. I try so hard. Sometimes it's bad though. Sometimes you get even moon juice, man. Sometimes I get a can of moon juice, and it happened the other day. I was drinking it. It's like, man, this shit tastes like straight up metal. It tastes like I'm sucking on aluminum. And I looked at the date, and
you pick up the can and just start taking a bite out of the can.
Dude, the date. It said it was canned like 3 months ago. It was like 3 months in an aluminum can.
Awesome.
That sounds pretty bad. And the next beer I had was 1 day after the canned date on the previous one. So it's like 1 day later, and it tasted way much better. Like I don't know, man. It's like a flip of the coin. Sometimes you get some beers that just taste like shit in the can. It sucks, but usually it's IPAs. IPAs taste like shit in the can most of the time.
IPAs usually have the best flavor. So, or not the best flavor, but have the most flavor of anything. Like, because if you pick up like a PBR, right, you can slam that down like it's water. You know what I mean? But like, if you pick up like a really heavy beer, that's going to have a lot of flavor to it. I think that's one of the reasons why a lot of people tend to not enjoy heavier beers or like more, I guess, stouter beers, because they're going into drinking alcohol with the intention of getting drunk, as opposed to like drinking it to enjoy it, and then the side effects be a bit of a benefit. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, man, that's the way to do it.
Yeah,
like beer's good. Like drink beer because it's good. Don't drink beer because it gets you drunk.
Well, I mean, there's a time and place for that. You know what I mean? Like if like again, like I mean, like the PBRs and the Coors Light and stuff like that. Like you're not gonna sit down at dinner and be like, I'm gonna have a nice steak. You know, give me a PBR. That's gonna be like, dude,
that's subjective.
That is a good point. But like,
I know people who would do that.
Oh my god, dude, I I mean, if it were me, I would be so angry. I'd be like, dude, what the like?
I wouldn't say shit, dude. I would
beer,
totally ignore it.
If I got a beer with like a really expensive steak, right, and like I got a beer with it, and they hand me like a fucking Bud Light, I'd be like, God damn it. This just ruined my steak. What the hell?
Just the guy next to you orders a Bud Light. You just take his steak.
I'm trying to get like the most fancy beer possible, and he's just like, let me get a Bud Light with my fucking steak. I'm like, dude.
Like, well, you don't deserve your steak. I'm going to take your steak.
I'm taking your steak, bro. Give me your steak. Give me your meat.
You deserve that. You should get some chicken nuggets.
You get one of those burgers that they put apples on. Have you seen those?
That sounds bad.
It's fucking bomb, but it's
an apple burger.
Yeah, it's like take a burger and put like apples on it. Like they put like green, like sliced green apple on it, and like I don't know why, but for some reason it's just fucking delicious. But it seems like the most bottom of the barrel meal ever.
Pinterest recipe or something.
Like somebody's in the kitchen and they're just like, shit, we're out of cheese. What's the closest thing we could find? And it's a fucking sliced apple.
This has the same color.
Literally.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like that's something somebody just got off Google. Some Facebook post.
Put like, apple slices on a burger, dude.
This at the restaurant, man. Let's do this at the dive bar.
Hell yeah.
Look a little more gourmet. Yeah. I don't know.
It's fancy.
Yeah.
Like those McDonald's pictures were like, or it's not McDonald's. I don't remember what. I think it is McDonald's for some reason. like, you know how like when people like fast food restaurants, they'll make their burgers like look better than they really are.
Oh yeah.
I'm pretty sure it's McDonald's. I can't remember
all of them. You think the photographers use the real food,
dude? Like, but
no.
I think that like McDonald's. I'm almost positive it's McDonald's. I don't know. I don't really pay that much attention, but like even the pictures of like McDonald's fucking food looks gross. Like,
dude, they're not.
It looks terrible.
It looks bad?
Yeah, it just looks terrible.
No, it's definitely not McDonald's.
It might have been Jack in the Box. I don't remember.
They have enough money to get a good photographer.
Like, get like a good
They can make a fake burger.
People take like a fast food burger and they'll try to make make it look better than it really better than it actually is, or like
Photoshop.
It really is. But like it might have been Jack in the Box. I don't remember. But like when you just look at it from the menu, it's like, dude, that looks like they threw it together in like 3 seconds.
I don't know, man.
Yeah.
I don't know. I know Jack in the Box's menu looks way polished for what you get.
Yeah.
I know McDonald's is the same way. Taco Bell for sure.
Yeah.
Their shit's falling apart when you get it.
Dude, and ironically, Taco Bell, in my opinion, I think is the best tasting out of all of them. Like, I used to like refuse to eat Taco Bell because every time I do it, I would get sick, and I'm like, I got to the point where I was like, you know what, dude, fucking Taco Bell is fire, bro. I'll eat this shit out of Taco Bell, man. I don't care if I feel like shit afterwards.
Yeah, I'll eat Taco Bell. I mean, I only get one thing. I only get the chalupas.
What?
I get the chalupas.
Oh, yeah,
and and I get a chicken soft taco, the grilled chicken. I don't like the shredded shit. It's like it comes in a can. I don't know.
I don't know if they still have them, but like they used to have those Frito burritos. You ever had those?
Yeah, those are pretty good.
Dude, those are
the
big thing.
Frito 5-layer burrito or whatever.
I don't know what it was, but it was some sort of burrito that had Fritos in it, and I was like, this is amazing. I love this.
Yeah, that show's pretty good. I thought it's interesting that they did a crossover with Frito-Lay.
it was good.
Like a bunch of Doritos, tacos, and
that was like the best that was like the best hangover food ever. Was like just getting Frito burritos. Like you just feel like shit, and then all of a sudden you get like 3 Frito burritos, and that first bite is just like your first time having sex. You're just like, oh my god, this is amazing.
Yeah, I was always a fan of going to a sit down restaurant when I was wasted. I was like try to fucking find someone to take us to Cracker Barrel or like IHOP or some breakfast restaurant. Then you get like a fat ass plate of like loaded hash browns and some fucking waffles or some sweet. But I don't know, man. Like fast food when I'm drunk, I feel like I'm always disappointed. I'm always like, fine, I'll get Jack in the Box.
I think it's the intention.
Like, fine.
It's like you feel like shit and you're like, damn, dude, what's gonna make me feel better? Fucking chicken nuggets from McDonald's. That's what's gonna make me feel better.
Yeah, it's more of a necessity.
And I'm like, you get it, and you're like, oh, this just made me feel worse.
Yeah. Every fucking time.
Yeah.
But it's great when someone else buys.
Yeah.
It tastes way better when it's free.
Unfortunately, I know all about that. There has been many times where I have woken up the next morning and I'm just like, I can't even fucking. I'm not even coherent right now, and people are like, we got to get food in them, and they just buy me food and fucking stuff me full of shitty food, and I'm like, oh, I feel better now. Hell yeah, dude.
Every single time. Yeah, man. I feel better when I'm drunk and I eat fast food. It's like getting a star in Mario. You just feel like you're glowing, like, yeah.
You're just like, dude, hell yeah, bro.
I'm back.
It's like a stoner getting a handful of donuts. You're just like, oh,
hell yeah, man.
I don't even know how to conceive life right now. Like, I'm fucked up and I have donuts in my hand, dude. This is amazing.
A fresh donut.
Huh?
Have you ever had Lamar's?
What?
There's a donut shop around here called Lamar's.
Lamar's.
They come from Colorado. It's actually a chain, and there's only one in Arizona. It's a place called Lamar's. It's off the freeway. It's like Bell and the I-17. But their donuts are like twice as big as any other donut.
That just sounds.
They're huge.
It just sounds like
it's awesome,
amazing.
And every week they have like a different filling on like their filled donuts. They have like blueberry, and like one week they'll do strawberry, and the next week they'll do like whatever.
Want donuts now. That's
dude.
that's
Lamar's
like donuts.
Lamar's is the way to go. Like you got to look that shit up,
dude. Like donuts is like I think donuts in general are just like one of the best like snacks in general because you can like. Have you ever taken like for instance? I'm gonna sound like I'm gonna sound ridiculous right now, but like there's been a few times where like I almost said fat ass. I was like I don't want to say that because I don't want to be a dick, but like taking like donuts and like just putting them in like in a bowl like glazed donuts, putting them in a bowl and just like dribbling putting them in a bowl and then heating them up and then like dribbling like ice cream over them with like fucking like chocolate syrup or something like that. And it's just like you're regretful while you're eating it because you're just like, Jesus Christ, I am a piece of shit for making this right now.
Yeah,
you're indulging like this is the most amazing taste in the world. Like I'll buy like one of those like things from Fry's where it's like 18 different or it's like 18 different like style donuts, or it's like 3 and 3 or whatever the hell, where it's like a mixture of different donuts, and they'll be gone in like 3 days, and I'm just like, dude. I should not have bought those because I ate way too many donuts within 3 days.
The donut with the bowl with the ice cream, it's giving me like State Fair vibes.
That's what I'm saying. It's just like, you make it and you're like, dude, I'm a piece of shit for making this.
Oh, yeah.
But it's so good,
Well, that's why I go to the State Fairs, to be a piece of shit.
It's like taking Doritos and putting hot sauce on them. It's like
I get the deep fried Snickers. I get the deep fried Twinkies.
It's fucking delicious, dude.
Yeah, man. I suck at the State Fair. I'm a fat ass at the State Fair for sure.
When you're something crazy, I've never been to the State Fair.
Dude, it's good. It's worth it just to get the food. Like, just go for the food, man.
I'm like a really reclusive person a lot of the time. So like, and usually the State Fair happens when it's like really hot. So I'm like, I don't even want to go outside. I'm just like, fuck that.
It happens in the fall.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like when the summer's dropping.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah, I mean, they do that on purpose. But I mean, it's like, I don't know, like one year I think the food is just the best part. Like the rides suck. They always suck. They're always shitty. Dude, the rides are shitty. I like to go look at the animals because the farm animals are crazy. They have like these animals that's where the State Fair started. Like it's an agricultural thing. Like they did competitions on who had the best cow and who had the biggest pumpkin, shit like that. Like I'm sure you've seen pictures and all that. But like that's
I don't pay attention.
Well, if you Googled State Fair in the 1970s, you'd see pictures of livestock and vegetables. Like, it's all about the agricultural fair, pretty much, and they turned it into like a just regular cultural fair and added rides and food and all this shit. But like I like to go look at they have all these like they have chicken competitions and like pigeon competitions. They have pigeons that have like these weird looking feathers all over them, and dude, it's crazy. It's way more interesting than the shitty like rides they have. I don't know, but the food is like the second best part. You got the animals.
It's all about the animals and the food.
Cool, dude. The animals are cool. Like I swear, it's good. But then like the food is fucking amazing because like where are you gonna buy a deep fried Twinkie? Are you gonna do it yourself? Probably not.
You're pretty brave if you're gonna deep fried Twinkie. I'm just saying
you
right
can.
now.
It's just gonna mess up your kitchen.
I feel like the way a deep fried Twinkie was made, like even with like deep fried ice cream in general, is just like somebody just accidentally dropped something into like a fucking pit of like boiling oil they drop a Twinkie or drop something in there, and just like, oh shit, it's ruined now.
Oh, dude, that was not an accident.
And then somebody got brave and was like, I'm gonna try that, and they tried that, and I was just like, dude, this is amazing. We should do this more often. And that's how like that's two things you would expect, like ice cream and deep frying. Like,
I don't know. The Mexicans do it the best.
dude, I love it. I think it's delicious, bro. Like any sort of
that Mexican deep fried ice cream. The name
delicious.
The name is slipping me right now, but
like,
there's a name for it.
It's so good. Like deep fried ice cream, deep fried Twinkies. Like there's like the deep fried pickles. Like it's all fucking delicious.
I'll take any of it.
Yeah, literally.
That shit's so good. I always get a turkey leg too.
Yeah.
You always get a turkey leg at the state fair because it's literally like as big as your forearm.
Like was at the Ren Fair.
You cut your hand off. You go from your forearm to your elbow. That's like the turkey leg you get. It's like at the Ren Fair. Yeah. It's like the turkey leg at the Ren Fair. They have the same. I don't know where they get the turkeys. It's like
big ass turkey.
Big ass turkey.
Big ass turkey.
I don't know. You're definitely not.
Yeah.
You shoot one in the wild, they're not that big. Like they're definitely not that big. I don't know. They fatten them up somehow. Hopefully, it's not toxic.
It's probably not a turkey at all, and it's like
Probably.
something you wouldn't expect, like a horse or something like that.
It's like a turkey, but they're not allowed to call it a turkey anymore.
It's like it just becomes too big to be a turkey at that point in time. Like I don't know what it is, but it tastes really good.
They have to call it a I don't know, a burkey.
What?
A big turkey.
A big. That was clever. Okay. All right. I see where this is going now.
You know what? KFC actually genetically modified their chickens so far to where they can't call them chickens anymore. They had to come up with a new name for their animals.
That's fucking awesome.
They had to change their name from Kentucky Fried Chicken to KFC.
I don't care what it is.
It's not chicken no more.
I don't care what it is. It's fucking delicious.
Dude, look up a picture of a KFC turkey or KFC chicken.
Right now?
If you want, dude, don't throw up on my floor.
KFC.
They're gross. KFC chicken.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, they don't do turkey.
For those who were
Kentucky Fried Turkey,
aware,
that would be way better.
Drinking quite a bit. Well, not quite a bit, but
I've drank more.
KFC. That's a fact.
Yeah, dude, KFC had to change their name because they don't serve chicken. That's I can't believe when I read that article. It was God. I wish I could find the article. It was a long time
What
ago.
the fuck is that,
dude? It's not a chicken.
It's like a hairless chicken.
It's horrible. Chickens don't have hair, but yeah, dude.
Or not hair. I'm sorry. Fucking featherless. My bad.
It's disgusting. Like it does not look like it should be alive.
Dude, that looks fake.
They're real, dude. They actually they genetically modified their chickens.
Look at this picture. They accidentally. What? It looks like a brain. What the fuck is that?
Dude, they don't look real.
Apparently they accidentally cooked in like a foot on chicken, but that just looks
that's
fake.
That's a mistake. That's somebody just trying to defame KFC.
What the fuck?
But
I can't believe I said that chickens have hair. What? Feathers. I meant feathers.
I'm not trying to defame KFC or nothing. Please don't sue me. But Jesus Christ, like your chickens do not look normal.
Tastes good, that's for sure.
I can't deny that.
Hairless chicken.
The hairless chickens, man, they look weird as fuck.
Featherless. I'm sorry, I made a mistake there. I saw bare skin and immediately thought hairless. Like what?
Yeah, it looks gross, dude. It looks weird. Dude, they cook that shit and sell it.
I mean, I'm not gonna lie, it tastes good. I don't even think about that kind of shit when I eat fast food. Like I just eat it. It's
have you seen like the beef that they feed like steroids and shit to?
No.
The cows that just can't even walk. They're so big. They have so many muscles, and they're just like fucking Arnold Schwarzenegger cows. And then they can't fucking walk, dude. They can't move. They're huge, and they just make so many steaks.
That's awesome. I eat the shit out of those. I don't care. If it tastes good, it is what it is, man.
Oh, I love red meat.
We're all gonna die anyway.
I like chicken. I like beef.
I'd rather live a shorter life and like have eaten like a lot of different kind of good food than like fucking eat grass and live 3,000.
What I could say is that you can eat really good food and still stay away from plastic. Plastic is probably your biggest threat as far as like the commercial food distributions and all that. Plastics they exist in your food. You know, the least amount of plastic exposure to your food is better for you.
Yeah.
That's just, that it like Tell me I'm wrong.
Yeah, I mean, everything comes wrapped in plastic, though, a lot of the time.
I know, that sucks, dude. It really, really sucks. But there's places that don't.
Yeah.
Like, there's, like, yeah, if you go to McDonald's, you're probably getting plastic in your food. If you go to fucking Fry's, like any Kroger store, you're probably getting plastic in your food. Like, but if you go to, like, the local Jewish butcher down the street, like, you're probably not getting much plastic in there. Like, it's probably like a cow from the farm and they wrapped it in paper and, like, it's not going through this huge facility where they're wrapping it in plastic and sending it out in trucks and fucking freeze, like sucking it to, all the air out of it into a bag and all the vacuum sealing and shit. Like, there's a lot of plastic in the world that gets into your food. It's crazy. But I think,
as long as it tastes good, I don't care.
dude, I wish I didn't. Every time, like, dude, I go to fast food all the time. I'm still a peasant right now, so I can't really afford good food. I have to buy the shitty food right now.
I feel it.
But
brand stuff is the best way to go. Some of that stuff's like the best tasting shit ever. Like, for instance, if you buy like the cheap like cans of chili, they're like $1 for a can of chili.
Yeah,
it's like the best tasting chili on the face of the earth. I don't know why, but it's just fucking delicious.
Salt.
Yeah, it's delicious.
It's just salt.
It's really bad for you probably, but you take that and you throw it in a pan with like some cheese and whatever the hell, and it's fucking delicious. Like,
yeah,
I love it.
I've actually been going to like Fry's and just finding whatever they have on sale for beef, and just buying whatever they have on sale. I'm like, okay, I'll look up a recipe for this. If that's what's on sale, like, and my favorite is when they have like huge fucking bone-in ribeyes on sale. Let's buy like 4 of those. That'll last me like a while. And
good.
Dude, it's just a big ass good steak. A ribeye is like the best cut in my opinion.
Yeah.
You could just throw that in a cast iron pan and you're fucking good to go. You don't need like salt and pepper. Shit, it tastes so good. Like, the fat flavors it itself. But yeah, I've just been going to the grocery store and getting sales on meat, trying to stay away from fast food. But
it's hard, man, because it tastes good.
It's hard because
that's the definition of everything is if it tastes good.
It's not even that it tastes good for me; it's that it's so convenient. You can just drive your car up to the fucking building and get a meal.
Yeah, that's a good point too,
dude. It's so easy.
It's like the ultimate like lazy tactic. If you're just on your way home from work and you're like, "Fuck, man, I'm hungry. I want to get something to eat." You just stop and get something fast food. That's the problem with like where I live. Is like I feel like they do this shit on purpose. Like where I live right now, there's fast food on every fucking corner. Like, and I mean every single thing. And like, if you're hungry, you're driving home and you're like they do that on purpose. I swear, because you're driving home and you're just like, okay, I'm gonna eat when I get home. And if you drive by like a Filiberto's and you're like, oh, that sounds delicious. And then you drive by a Jack in the Box, and you're like, oh.
Then Chipotle.
And then that's another one. Chipotle. You're like, fuck. And then like you drive by a Popeyes and you're like, okay, I get it. I'm fucking getting Popeyes. I'm getting something. Like, whatever. Like, you win. You win. Fucking corporate fast food, whatever you are. Like, I'm driving home. You put one in every single corner. Even QT. Like, the guy to the point where like if I drive by a QT, I'm like, some QT pizza sounds bomb right
Something is wrong with that pizza.
It's delicious.
It is too good.
I know, it's fucking delicious.
The sauce they use, it gives me nostalgia for like the Lunchables Tombstone pizza sauce. Dude, that sauce is like addicting.
I know.
It's like you could just eat the package of sauce.
Right, and
like that's what QT uses.
I'll tell you something funny. Like, dude, like literally, I would there was a point in time to like I was eating so much, like I was addicted to QT pizza that like, and like I would eat it like on the way to work or whatever. Like I'd get like I'd stop somewhere and get something to eat. Well, it's because I would stop at QT anyway because I want to get like a Red Bull or like a G Fuel or something like that. You know what I mean,
man?
And then like I'd see like the pizza and I'd be like, it's cheap too. And then so I'd grab it and then like I'd be eating, like I'd eat QT pizza or whatever, and like I'd be on my way to work and I would have like there wouldn't be a trash can nearby. So I would just like put it in a bag and like have like a trash bag like in my car that would like I would throw out every once in a while. And then like it got to the point where like I get in my car and I look at my trash bag and it's just fucking full of like QT pizza boxes, and I was like, dude, I have a problem. Like this is bad.
Yeah, man.
I can probably stop eating this. I'm gonna die of a heart attack.
I sometimes look at my passenger seat and see all the QT pizza boxes.
It's like, fuck, dude, I have a problem.
Shit.
Yeah.
Oh man, they're really good, but
that was the quintessential breaking point of my QT pizza addiction. Is I was just like, holy shit! Like I'm eating this. Like you don't realize it either. Like you just buy it on the fly because. I mean, I'm gonna stop there anyway. I stop there every day on my way to work because I'm getting energy drinks, obviously, because I'm like, having an addiction to energy drinks, and it's always nice to grab a snack. It's always nice to grab something, but like for some reason, just like I feel like they put something in that pizza that just makes you addicted.
Dude, there's something in the bread and there's something in the sauce.
Breakfast pizza, like it's fucking delicious. Have you had it?
The gravy,
dude. It's like they're
put
like let's
eggs
put
and gravy on a pizza.
Eggs on a pizza, and like that should be like what the fuck was wrong with why you put eggs on a pizza? But you get it and you eat it and you're like, delicious.
Yeah, it's eggs, gravy, cheese, and sausage.
So good.
It's literally like 4 ingredients on the pizza dough.
Yeah.
And I don't know like who thought of it, but that was a good idea.
That was a great idea. It's a really good
idea. Holy shit, I bought a lot of those. I don't buy them anymore.
That was my first response the first time I saw QT pizzas. I was just like, bro, they put eggs on pizza. What the fuck is wrong with them? And then I tried it and I was like, oh, that's what's wrong.
Oh, it's the gravy.
It's the gravy and the sausage and the eggs on pizza. Like, it's genius. It's delicious.
Like biscuits and gravy, because the crust and the gravy, and then the eggs and the sausage.
It's like whoever thought about putting pineapple on pizza. They're like, oh man, let's put pineapple on pizza. And most people are like, this is stupid. But then, first I try it and I'm like, this is amazing. Like, I love this.
It's probably Hawaii.
Huh?
It's probably Hawaii.
Hawaiian pizza, yeah. It's delicious. I love it.
They probably started doing that in Hawaii. I could be wrong, but I'm guessing.
Whoever decided to put pineapple on pizza, I think is a genius. It's delicious. That's probably my favorite kind of pizza is fucking Hawaiian pizza with pineapple on it.
Really? That's your favorite?
Yeah, dude, it's bomb.
It's good. I won't turn down a slice of Hawaiian pizza, but
dude, like
better ones.
I'm saying, you put like a meat lover's pizza and a Hawaiian pizza in front of me, I'll eat the Hawaiian pizza all day long. It's delicious. I love it.
No way.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I'm a carnivore, man. I need that meat.
Yeah, dude.
All right, so we've gotten pretty far into this podcast. I need to ask you about some of your projects you're doing. People want to hear what you're doing.
I'm willing to answer.
You're actively working with a band right now. Let me hear about that.
Well, actively.
Active.
Yeah.
The most active band. Tell me, promote something. Come on.
I'm working with multiple projects right now.
That's good.
I think the most established out of all of them is Apocalypse Pony. That was, the most. I'm doing 3 different projects at the moment. I have a really bad habit of overloading myself with work.
That's all right. It's exciting.
Yeah,
it's fun, man.
It's my addiction, especially when you come to liking multiple different kinds of metal. I know where my heart lays, obviously. I know where my heart lays in metal and everything, right. But it's fun sometimes to do other things and would completely overload myself with things, and it just gets overwhelming. But
tell me about Apocalypse Pony.
So Apocalypse Pony.
Did you start that?
No, not at all.
So it existed before you?
Yeah, it existed well before I joined that band in 2021. I think I've been with the band for almost a year over. I don't remember, but it was kind of a freak of nature thing. Honestly, I was in my previous band, Condemned Till Dawn, and Apocalypse Pony had lost their current guitar player at the time, and I was good friends with the singer Michael Coleman, and I just sent him a message, and I was like, hey, dude, it sucks that your guys' guitar player lost, or you guys lost your guitar player. If you ever need somebody to jump on stage with you, just let me know, and I'll totally do it. You know what I mean? And everything just kind of fell into me being in the band after that. And it's been a lot of fun. Those guys have taught me a lot of things.
That's cool.
I didn't know prior because, a lot of, I made a lot of good friendships and stuff like that. The band's getting ready to put out a single, actually. I don't know the exact time when it's going to come out, but it should be out pretty soon. We're going to put out a new single. And it's if you like just heavy music in general, heavier deathcore mixed with black metal, symphonic death metal, all kinds of stuff kind of jumbled into one. It'll be really cool.
Is it big sounding? You get backing tracks and stuff.
Yeah, and it's deathcore at the heart of everything. But there's lots of added elements as well. Very symphonic parts, very heavy parts, very black metal sounding parts. It'll be cool.
So I got one question for you, and this This is kind of just my personal question. Is it like more rhythmic or more melodic?
That's very rhythmic, very heavy. Well, I mean, there's a little bit of both. So there's a little bit of both
Okay.
in the song. So there are some very very heavy parts. There's not. I wouldn't say there's a lot of like melody. It's more aggression. You know what I mean? Like it's very aggressive music. So, which I mean, people I guess tend to really enjoy nowadays. To be honest with you, I'm not the most well versed when it comes to the deathcore genre. It's not necessarily something I genuinely like intend on listening to, but I did enjoy their music. I was like, this is really cool. You know, like they're taking like, you know, two different things and combining them into one. And I like this. I would love to play with them. So, you know, that was how that came about. And, you know, it's been a lot of cool. It's been a lot of fun. And actually, our guitar player and the leader of the band, James, well, we call him Ding, but his real name is James. He's actually in another band called Of Sulfur, and they just got signed to Century Media. So you know,
local band.
No, they're from they're I don't know all the details on it, but you know, so but they're on tour right now with As I Lay Dying. So you know, they just played their first show like last night, I think. And
where's he from?
What's up?
Where's he from?
I'm from here in Arizona. So, but he got the part in that band. So you know, he's been doing that. So while he's doing that, you know, we've been kind of like, you know, getting a single prepared to release and stuff like that. And then, you know, when he comes back, we'll start, you know, doing some shows and playing around and stuff like that. So that's why I say that's probably the most active project that I'm in, but I'm in three technically right now. So three different projects that aren't as active as Apocalypse Pony is.
So you got Apocalypse Pony, and what are the other two?
So there's the Ashen Hunt, which is a collaboration between me and my buddy Brett. We honestly I don't even know how it happened. Like it was just like it was two mutual like I mean it wasn't even like a mutual like thing between us. Like it was really strange how it happened. Was like, you know, we had like I mean me myself and Brett, we had like I think there was like a mental connection between me and him in general. Like I don't know, it was weird when we first met because like if I tell you this story, you're gonna laugh. Like when I first met him,
it's all about stories.
Him. I was like, dude, who is this dick? Like, fuck this guy, get away from me. You know what I mean? Like we played a show together, and with him and his previous band, and they were called Amaya, and like we played like a show together, which at the Rebel Lounge, and like I was playing like this Solar V at the time, like this flying V, and I had put it like on a guitar stand. And any like normal person knows putting a flying V on a guitar like on like a multiple rack guitar stand is not the smartest idea.
It doesn't really work.
And I didn't think about that, and that was like the first words the guy said to me was like who puts a V on a guitar stand? And like you know my first reaction was like, who the fuck are you, asshole? Like fuck you, you know what I mean? Like
yeah, who talks to people like that?
Yeah, piss off, you know what I mean? Like you know I didn't even know who he was. I was just like fuck you, dude. Like I don't even know who you are. And then we built like I don't know how it happened. Like just somehow we built like this weird mutual connection between each other, and we were actually working together at Guitar Center. And you know we became like I mean before that actually we had become really close friends, and then we started working together at Guitar Center. And I just brought it up to him one time as I was like, you know, hey, how do you feel about you know doing like a more like or I wanted to do like this more black metal-y atmospheric kind of thing, you know, that's darker. And he was in on it, and he you know I don't even think the guy had ever like actually like listened to black metal. Like I don't know specifically. I mean he may have listened. I know he listened to like maybe Dimmu Borgir or something like that, but you know like I don't know, just something in his brain clicked with it. Like it was weird. Like it was really weird how it happened because like he clicked with it, and then now he's the main songwriter of the band. You know, like I'm not entirely sure. He'll probably correct me on this, but from what I see, I feel like he didn't know anything about the genre besides like you know, I mean like your typical stuff that everybody knows, obviously, but. You know, it clicked with him really quickly, and he started pumping out all these songs, and I was like, "Fuck, dude, this is great! Like, let's just do it. You know, let's go for it." So, we recorded some songs together. We put out one song called "A Poem Written in Solitude," and that was like the first like real song that we were, you know, like he wrote the music for, I wrote the lyrics for, and then he recorded everything at his house, and then I recorded the vocals with a friend of ours. Um, his name is Alex. He's a really good guy. He plays guitar for Amaya as well, and he's a very, very good guitar player and
Hell yeah.
good producer in general. So I recorded the vocals with him, and then we put it out, and we were just like, okay, so let's, we just kept going on it, and now we've pretty much created like an entire EP that hopefully we're gonna get out. We picked up a bass player too. Um, yeah, her name is Halen, and she's really good as well. Fucking great vocalist too. Like she can scream like nobody's business, and little by little, we're kind of like putting that together to be something that will come to the live stage, which will be a lot of fun. And then the other one that I'm working on is, excuse me, it's this is the one that I'm really excited about as well, is because it's a collaboration between myself and Mark Gray. He's the drummer for Apocalypse Pony, and he's also plays drums for Dead World Reclamation, which is a fucking great band from here. Like,
I've heard of them.
yeah, incredible musicians, and just in general, like those dudes, their guitar players will fucking play circles around me, bro. Like those guys are insanely good.
You gotta give me some connections, man.
Dude, they're insanely good. And we built up like we created this project that was more of like the European like melodic death metal stuff, which is like that's where my heart lays. Like
That
that
stuff sounds really cool.
dude, like that's my heart and soul right there. That's been like that for many, many years. And we had this like mutual love for this band called Bellacore. So I know you said that you knew who Bellacore was. So
Dude, I love Bellacore. When I found that band, I was like, "Who the fuck is this? Oh my god!" Like, there's a couple bands where a random song will pop up on a playlist, and you're like, "What the fuck is this?" Bellacore is one of those bands for me.
Yeah, bro.
I looked up all of their shit, and all of it blew my mind. I was like, "Holy fuck, these guys are insane."
That was like where the connection was made between me and him, as we were like he loved Bellacore and I loved Bellacore. And ironically, I think it was before I even joined Apocalypse Pony. I saw him make a post about it on Facebook, talking about talking about Bellacore or something like that, and I was like, fuck, I want to be in a band with that guy. You know what I mean? So I ended up joining Pony, and then like it was just a mutual thing after that. We're like, dude, let's fucking do this. You know what I mean? So we did it, and then this is that's been another something that I'm really, really excited about. And it's felt really good because like I've been able to just like what I enjoy in metal music, you know what I mean, and just like spill it on a piece of paper. Like it's felt really good actually to get that out of me. So
no, that's good. I mean, I feel like that's how most creative things should be. I feel like if you're really trying to like pull it out of your brain and like bring it out and try to make it work, like you're either in a really rough patch and you need to fix something in your personal life, or maybe this just isn't the right project.
Right.
Like one or the other.
Right.
You know, well, and if it's fucking spilling out of your brain onto the paper, like that's excellent. Fucking keep that going, whatever you're doing, man.
Well, and like it feels I mean, like, not that I haven't been able to do that with like, like previous bands and stuff like that, but like it's the first time that I've ever been, because it's only me and him writing music. There's nobody else. Like,
that's much easier.
Yeah, it's weird. It's actually kind of scary.
Well, the less amount of people writing, the less amount of conflict, right?
Yes and no. I mean, like for instance, when I played guitar for Dental Dawn, like that was super easy because Tim and Ian, they were both songwriters. They wrote songs as well, and their songs are fucking awesome. So it was like I could I didn't have to like I felt like there was no input that was needed from me because their songs were just great. Like it was like, okay, this is fucking awesome. Like I love this. So it's really strange being at like the forefront of everything, of writing the music and then collaborating with only one other person, because we have a really good system set up. Like I'll write like a bunch of riffs and like kind of like string them together in a song, and then I'll send it to him, and then he'll write the drums to it. Like I won't even think about the drums. I'll just write the riffs and like send it to him, and then he'll write drums and he'll send me back like a video of him playing the song on drums, and it's just like it gives the song so much more life. You know what I mean? Like it's fucking awesome, and it's a really cool feeling too. You know what I mean? So it's going good. It's a slow moving process, and I think it's just because honestly speaking, we're both in multiple different projects. So
and you work.
and we work full time, and he runs a business, he's got a family, and you know what I mean. And then I work Monday through Friday, and I obviously am doing the Ashen Hunt stuff as well. So it's like, we'll get like it's a slow moving it's not well, it's not a slow moving we've made really good progress on things, but like I think we're also taking our time with stuff because we want to get things right. We want it to feel like it's right. You know what I mean? Like we want to.
Yeah, man, you don't want to put out
Right.
like a half-assed product.
Yeah, like we want to like really make sure that it's like this is the CD that we want. We're 100% happy with it.
You don't want to half-ass multiple things.
Yeah.
You want to full-ass one thing.
Right.
Right?
Right. Yeah. I mean
that's Red Foreman from the 70s show.
Yeah,
I love that quote.
Yeah. It's true though. Like it's very true though. Like
so you gotta like dedicate your time when you're doing something. You gotta be fully committed to that one thing you're doing. Like,
right. It gets a little tricky sometimes when jumbling multiple projects, and then the normal mundane bullshit that comes with life, like
oh yeah, man,
going to work, and
I just run this little ass podcast, and it's hard for me to schedule this shit. I can't imagine like scheduling 3 musical projects.
Fucking nightmare.
Like, time. Like goddamn.
Well, I mean, to be honest with you, like
you've been doing it longer than I have been doing this podcast.
No, it's not.
Is that wrong?
I mean, the problem that I have is like I'll just overload. Like I'm a very impulsive person, so like I'll like one thing for like an hour and be like, "Fuck, I want to do that." You know what I mean? And then like I'll start doing it, and then it's just like, and then I just overload myself with shit. It's like, okay, now I got to commit to all this kind of stuff. So I'm not saying it's a bad thing, but I think that the 3 projects that I'm doing right now, like they really kind of allude to like where my heart actually like really lays with music. You know what I mean? I mean, granted, like I said, I know I said before that I'm not like the biggest deathcore guy, but like fucking hell, dude, like just playing the songs live with Pony is like the biggest like just like release ever. You know what I mean? Like it's
yeah.
Like you release those violent feelings and those
like
aggressive
really easy
thoughts.
to get into.
Oh, dude, yeah, it's fucking badass. Like
that's cool, man.
That's like like it's a release of aggression. You know what I mean? So it feels really good. And then with the Ashen Hunt, it's like I have a really big passion for like black metal and like different like subcategories of that. It's actually not even. I think it's a bit of an obsession at this point. It's not even a passion.
Dude, there's something about that like big symphonic sound that like makes it sound like you're in a fucking cathedral,
right?
With like 4 bands around you, just slamming. Like there's something about that sound, and like some bands can pull it off really fucking well.
Right. Well,
the band I always mention about that sound is like Flesh God Apocalypse.
Yeah, they're badass.
They always give me that sound of like the biggest fucking venue you could possibly imagine, with like 400-foot ceilings that just fucking annihilate everyone in the room. Like,
and they do that. I mean, you know damn well they do that shit.
They do it on purpose.
They're like,
sure.
Yeah, we're gonna fucking.
That sound is why I like that. Like symphonic black metal is because they make it as big as possible.
Right. Well, and dude, they're in general. I mean, I tend to like really admire like musicians who obviously have really like honed in their like their craft, and they're good at what they do.
Yeah.
But they're not afraid to flaunt it. You know what I mean? Like they're not afraid. I mean, I think a little bit of arrogance as a musician is a good thing. Like it's not like there's a difference between like being willing to show off your skill and just being a complete asshole about it. You know what I mean? Like there are people who are really good who are complete assholes about shit, and then there are people who are really good that that are willing to create something to show to people to show how good they are. You know what I mean? And like,
I think there's almost like a third category though of like people who are like talented and just unafraid to flaunt their creations,
right?
Regardless of their skill, they don't give a fuck how good they are. They just want to show the world what they've made.
Well, that's what I mean.
It's not. They don't even compare it to other people. They're just like, here, look at,
enjoy.
Like,
well, no, that's what I mean. Is it's like people who. Like I said, a little bit of arrogance as a musician is a good thing. Just a little bit, not a lot, just a little bit. Not being afraid to.
I would describe it as confidence more than arrogance, because arrogance, I feel like you're comparing yourself.
Yeah.
Confidence is more like fuck everyone else. I'm good.
Yeah.
Check it out.
It's humble. I guess humble is the right word. Being humble about things.
Humbleness is definitely a factor for
Yeah,
sure.
being humble about but not being afraid to like show how good you are. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
And that's like you said, Flesh God. That's a great example of it. Is because like to the average person, I mean, to like people who don't listen to metal, they hear something like that and they're like, oh, that just sounds like fucking, just what am I listening
Dude,
to?
I love showing people that band.
and like
they listen to it and they're like, "Oh my god, this is the music you listen to."
What is happening? But then if you listen to it and like dissect it, you're like, holy shit, these guys are insane.
Dude, they're
like,
good. They're really good.
Even their keyboard player, the guy that does all like the
He's
symphonies and stuff like
pianist.
that, dude, he's insane.
He's a pianist.
Yeah,
like he's not just a keyboard player. He's fucking classical pianist.
up there with like a full like a grand piano on stage just shredding, and it's like,
insane.
Dude, that's so sick. Like that's like how like it's A for it's creativity is a big thing, and then B for one, it's like the amount of hassle that guy goes through to put a fucking grand piano on stage every night.
I think it's just a shell for the show, and then they just have a keyboard. He probably has a really nice keyboard in there, but it's like, well, I've done a lot of theater work, and we did a lot of shows with like they bring in a grand piano shell, and they just lay a keyboard in the front, so it looks like a piano. And like you have the pedals underneath to make it look like it's all fancy, and like you can make it look real without it being a real piano. So they probably do that on tour just because like bringing a like an actual even a baby grand on tour, like that's risky, man. That's really risky.
Yeah, that's
like
a good
you
point.
need a big ass fucking expensive fucking case. The case is a few grand.
Well, just like even in general, like they have whole companies that are dedicated to moving pianos.
Oh
like,
yeah, dude. We did shows with an organ.
Yeah.
They had to move an organ in on stage.
I didn't even think about that. That's a really good point.
That's way more like touchy than a fucking piano.
Shows you how much
there's like
attention I pay.
Twice as many buttons on an organ than a piano.
Yeah.
Like it's insane.
I mean, even if like I said, I didn't even think about that. That's a good point that you brought up. But it shows where my attention span goes. Like it just like I see somebody, even if it's just a keyboard in a shell, I'm just like, holy fuck, that's cool. You know what I mean? Like it looks like real. It looks real.
Yeah, dude, it's cool,
man. Real as fuck. And like it's it's impressive, but like his skill is just like it's mind-boggling. You know what I mean? Like
dude,
holy shit,
he is classically trained.
Yeah, for sure.
Like absolutely.
It's like the guy from
every album they have has an instrumental of him doing a piano, like just a straight up instrumental piano song, and damn, it is fucking good. Every single one of them is like, holy fuck, what am I listening to? It's like it doesn't sound like metal. It sounds like a classical pianist. You know, he writes a piece for every album. Right, it's fucking insane. You can look him up.
That's what I'm trying to do with. Well, not necessarily the classical part, but with the melodic death metal band that I'm doing with Mark is like, so we have the shell of like basically a whole lineup put together actually, which is really cool. We got our buddy Jared who's playing bass guitar, and he's a very good bass player. Will Dixon actually agreed to. He's the guitar player for a band from here called Cebulia. I don't know if you've ever heard of them.
Oh yeah, dude, I had Ryan on my show.
Dude, they're fucking awesome.
Yeah, I had Ryan Johnson on my show, man.
Like they're fucking badass.
Yeah, dude.
Like
Art was showing me a lot of those, a lot of their songs, and that's why I wanted to get Ryan on. I was like,
I fucking love Ryan,
fuck,
dude.
like, Cebulia sounds dope. Like, do you know anybody from Cebulia? He's like, oh yeah, man, Ryan Johnson. And then I saw Kyler built a fucking audio desk for him.
Dude, he's fucking...
I just straight up messaged. I was like, Ryan, dude, be on my podcast. Like, you gotta be on here.
Dude, they're awesome. And I was like, everyone, like everybody in that band is just fucking insanely talented. Like that's one thing that like I will honestly say is like for instance, like Dio is an insanely good drummer. Ryan's a great vocalist. Cam's a great guitar player. But fucking like Will too, their lead guitar player, dude, he's insanely talented. Like like that dude will play circles around me, bro. Like dude, it's insane.
I've heard that band. And they are impressive.
I asked him. I like randomly asked him. I was like, hey, you want to put a guitar solo on one of our songs? You know what I mean? And he was like, yeah, I'll totally put a guitar solo on it. And I went to their Dio's birthday show that they did, and they did like this metal jam afterwards, and I sang a couple songs with them, and I was just sitting there like talking to Will, and I was like I asked Will like, what do you want to play guitar for the project with me and Mark, and he was like, yeah, and I was like, wait, really? Like, are you serious? You know what I mean? And he was like, yeah, dude. And I'm like, okay, fuck yeah, dude. Like, this is gonna be sick. So. As long as things work out with him, he should be playing guitar for the new project. And I think the last missing piece that I want for the project, and I'm pretty sure that Mark wants as well. Is it'd be really cool to have a live like keyboard player. You know what I mean? Like getting somebody that's actually can get in the spot and play like proper keyboards. So
Yeah.
that's been tough. We had one guy lined up, but I think he's just got too much going on with his life right now to have time for something like that. So if anybody's listening,
I know one keyboard player who plays in a metal band. It's more of a doom metal band called Hovenweep.
never
This
heard of
guy
him.
named Jesse.
Really?
He actually helped Arcanaut record their EP, or they were gonna record their full album with him, but something went wrong with the tracks, and Arcanaut ended up, discontinuing. They ended up breaking up, but Jesse was actually the one who helped us record all the drum tracks and all that. And I know he plays keyboard for a band called Hovenweep.
Yeah.
I could throw you his name. Maybe you could hit him up, see if he's interested.
I know anybody up.
I know he's got a lot going on in his life too, which just might have been probably some of the reason our recordings didn't go through as smoothly as planned.
Right.
But I don't know what he's up to now. So I can drop you his name, and maybe I'll be able to hit him up.
It'd be sick. Having a live keyboard player in general is just really cool. I just like the way, like, it's gonna sound really weird, but like I just like the way it looks on stage. You know what I mean? Like when you just have like a metal band with a keyboard player up there, like it just looks cool. Like regardless if they're playing whatever, like it just looks fucking sick.
You're a fucking nerd.
I am. I know I am. I mean, like, I don't know. Like, it's not the most. I guess it's just not the most common thing. But like, when it is like a common thing, especially when the guy can play, it's like.
Dude, I saw Children of Bodom live. That was like my first metal show ever. Was seeing like Children of Bodom live, and like the keyboard player just watching, I was like, "Oh my god!"
That's Yanni, dude. Crazy story. I played session bass for a Finnish death metal band called Wolfheart.
Oh yeah, dude, I remember that. You went on tour with those dudes, right?
Children of Bodom. That was
with
the headliner.
Bodom.
Dude,
holy shit!
Holy fuck! Like just watching that guy play, like it's Yanni Warman is his name.
Yeah,
Holy fucking shit, dude! Like it's like,
dude, he's insane.
He's insanely talented. Like, and it's crazy to watch. Like when the guitar player is competing with a fucking keyboard player, it's like, dude. That's some skill, bro. Like Alexi will always be like in my top 5. Like I love Alexi, man. He's
from
always
Wolfheart.
No, Alexi from Children of Bodom.
Oh,
because
when
Wolfheart toured, Wolfheart was opening for Children of Bodom. So
right.
That's what the tour was. And like
it's like the keyboard player and the guitarist like going back and forth.
Oh yeah,
much.
It's insane. Like if you listen to like Downfall, for instance, like I'm totally about to nerd out about Children of Bodom because I fucking love Children of Bodom. But like if you listen to Downfall, for instance, like there's a couple parts in times like they're going back and forth in like shred solos, and then they start harmonizing together, and it's just like it's so cool. Like it's not what you'd expect. Like I mean, guitar harmonies are really cool. I love guitar harmonies, but like when you take a keyboard player and a fucking guitar player and you harmonize them on a solo, especially when they're doing like some crazy like neoclassical sounding solo, it's the coolest sounding thing.
And his keyboard sound is really weird because like it's almost lead.
It's
like a really super sharp lead sound.
He's using that Roland synth sound. It's really cool.
Yeah, and I feel like most keyboards in like metal bands are doing like some symphonic shit in the background. They're like doing strings or whatever, like
but he's playing
whatever.
Leads,
but he's doing the lead synth like along with the fucking lead guitar, like harmonizing a solo at the same time. Like, how the fuck do you do that? That's like fucking incredible.
They do that a lot. Like I said, Downfall is another great example of that. When he's doing that keyboard synth intro, or like songs like "Are You Dead Yet" or "Angels Don't Kill." Like, it's just, dude, like the way it starts. It's such a nerdy. I'm not the best keyboard player on the face. Like I play some keyboards, but like I'm not the best. But dude, like if 9 times out of 10, like I fucking nerd out about keyboard players. Like you take like a shredding keyboard player and a shredding guitar player and put them in front of me. I'm gonna watch the keyboard player like fucking 100% of the time, just because it's so fascinating to watch them play that kind of stuff. You know what I mean? Like a guitar is a guitar. A guitar is gonna sound like a guitar, but like keyboard, obviously there's different tones and stuff like that, but regardless, a guitar is a guitar. A keyboard, you could change all different kinds of sounds, do all this different kinds of stuff, and it's just really fascinating, especially when you get people who like are willing to create like really cool sounds with like layering or whatever. It's just, I don't know. I nerd out about that shit, dude. I love it. I think it's so cool.
Yeah, it's a totally different instrument.
I mean,
there's a lot you can do with a keyboard.
It's the one instrument that can play multiple different instruments, if that makes sense. Like,
It
you
can
can make
sound like anything you want.
Yeah, you could mimic a guitar on a keyboard. It's fucking sick.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think that takes a really specific type of like skill set, a specific type of training.
Right.
I've seen a dude play like it was like a keyboard imitating an organ
Yeah.
that was imitating an electric guitar.
Yeah.
And he had a whammy bar on the top. Like it was a gigantic whammy bar on the
Yeah.
top. I don't know what the fuck it was, like what kind of keyboard, but it was meant to imitate a guitar. And he was
Badass.
literally playing Voodoo Child by Jimi Hendrix, like flawlessly on a keyboard. Like with all the fucking whammies and like all the fucking like it was insane. Like it blew my mind. You could probably look it up, Voodoo Child on keyboard,
That's
and you'll
awesome.
find the exact video I'm talking about. But it's this giant whammy bar on top of the keyboard, and that's what drew me to the video. I was like, what the fuck is this guy doing? Like, what is this bar on top of a keyboard? Like this is gonna sound weird as fuck. And it was Jimi Hendrix. It's like, what the fuck, dude?
That's sick. I've been fighting myself not to spend like $600 on a keyboard that I really want, because I know I look at
money on lessons first,
dude. I'm looking at that thing and I'm like, I'm gonna buy that, and like I know how to play keyboard, but like I am nowhere near in like deserving of a keyboard that fancy. Like that'll kind of explain my skill of like playing keyboards. You know what I mean? So it's like, like I'm trying to stop myself from buying it, but I want it so badly, but I know I'm gonna buy it and I'm gonna get it. I'm gonna be like, dude, I don't deserve this. Like it's fucking like I don't know. It's such a cool instrument. Like, and you could do so much with it too. Like it's not like a guitar. A guitar you can record. I mean, I'm not the most savvy when it comes to like modern audio engineering or whatever, but from my knowledge, a guitar, you can record a guitar and it's going to sound like a guitar. Like you can't make it sound like anything else, but a keyboard you can literally create a whole band with. You know what I mean? So it's shit
well,
like,
if you DI your guitar,
yeah. I mean,
you can transfer that to MIDI and change the sound.
That's a good point.
It's going to sound a little rough. You might have to clean it up afterwards.
Right.
It's going to be clean as hell.
But it's meant for that. You know what I mean? So it's like, it's meant for shit like that. It's a cool instrument. It's a really cool instrument. And I
don't know if it was even meant for that. It was like translated to it. It like went from piano, which is technically a percussion instrument, hammers on strings, to a keyboard, which imitated a piano, to a keyboard imitating everything else.
Right.
It's like, it was kind of like did a backwards transformation almost. Like keyboard went piano to keyboard, from keyboard to everything.
Yeah.
Like, it's like, oh shit, now that we have this electronic device, we can actually translate it to any sound we fucking want to.
Yeah.
And like, that's when they made MIDI back in the fucking like 70s or 80s or whatever.
Right. Well,
like,
I think moral of the story, if anybody's listening, if you're a keyboard player that wants to be in a metal band, hit me up on Facebook, Nathaniel Cates, Instagram @theCates.
All right, Nate needs a keyboard player.
I need a keyboard player, goddammit. Somebody that can just sit there and stare at and watch them play for hours and be like, how do you do that? That's what I want.
There's a lot of jazz keyboard players out there that blow my mind.
God, dude, that's a whole nother world.
Dude, I've done some jazz shows, like when I was doing, I still kind of do it, some audio at the Orpheum and Mesa Arts Center. The Mesa Arts Center, I've had some jazz shows that I go to, and the keyboard players fucking blow my mind.
Oh my god, it's a whole nother world, dude. See, here's where we go. We've already ventured into this right now. Remember how in the beginning of the podcast I was talking about this is going to be the most boring one because we're going to talk about bees, or compared to James Hetfield's podcast, we're talking about bees. Well, our bees in this podcast are keyboards because we're talking about keyboards,
and we talked about beers for longer than this.
Yeah, we're talking about beers, fast food, and keyboards, dude. Fuck yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
It's episode 20. What do you want?
Yeah. You can't expect much more. It's like, I don't know. But anyway, yeah, dude, fucking, like, jazz keyboard players, that's, like, on a whole new level of skill. Like, it's incredible how good those guys are, man. And, like, I think like playing piano and playing keyboard in itself is like playing two different instruments with each hand. You have your melody and your rhythm. You know what I mean? And like it baffles me how well those people, like those guys' minds can think. You know what I mean? Like it's like any sort of like keyboard player, like they have like the kind of mind that's based around playing two different things at the same time. Like you tell me to to rub my stomach and pat my head, and I'll probably like trip on my own feet and fall on the
Dude,
floor trying to do it.
if you tried that every single day, you would do it.
Oh, I know.
You
It's
would
determination.
eventually
Yeah,
be able to do it. The
determination.
human brain is an incredible tool,
Yeah, I
man.
know.
Like
And
you can train your hands to do different things, and
right.
most tasks as a human being in this society, you don't have to do that.
That's
So
a good
you
point.
never
Yeah.
learn that skill, right?
Well,
So,
yeah.
like-
I mean, it's also your determination too. Like, you know, when I was younger, all I wanted to do is I wanted to play guitar. Like, I wanted to be Zach Wild. I wanted to be Yngwie Malmsteen. You know what I mean?
yeah.
Like, so, but now that I'm at the point to where, like, you know, I've been playing guitar for a long time. Like, it's other things that fascinate me. Like drums is another one. Drums is like watching drummers play. It's like, how the fuck do they do that?
Guitarists don't get famous anymore, too. So
yeah, it's a good because the
that's
guitar players
a
everywhere.
thing too.
The guitar players are fucking everywhere. You know
yeah,
what I mean?
you don't get famous as a guitar player anymore.
Yeah, you'd be really lucky if you did.
You get
like,
famous as a singer now.
I think the best part about it was like, you know, I guess like the biggest pinnacle that I've done in like musically in my life, which was getting to play. I'm a guitar player, but I played session bass guitar for a band who needed a fill-in. So like that kind of explains, you know, like where.
Yeah, if you can make money doing anything musical, you're good.
Yeah,
like,
literally. It was like, I just thought it was a
you're
funny
gonna be
thing. It was
happy.
Like I wanted to be like the biggest thing on the face of the earth when I was, you know, when I was younger. But like, you know, the coolest thing I've done so far was playing bass guitar for one of my favorite bands. So it's like,
yeah, dude, it's music industry's weird, man.
Yeah.
Like it's really weird. Like you think about it, like when you're getting into it, you're like, okay, so to make money, you got to like do this, this, and this.
well,
And then
it's business in general. Like my God, dude, I could go on. We could talk fucking 3 hours about this right now.
well, there's
like,
so many variables and so many different ways to make money with
exactly.
music.
It's like it's
there's
become,
just a never-ending story, really.
I mean, like, music in itself, I always, like, I mean, when I was younger, like, I thought it was, like, this crazy business that you had to do all this, and that was, I think it's taken me, up until recently, actually, to not have that mentality, you know, like, it's not all about business, it's like, the business is, like, you know, the business side of things is, like, the added thing you have to do for success as opposed to rather just having fun with it. You know, like I think that the most important part with music is just to have fun with things. You know what I mean? Do something that you enjoy. Do something
keeping that priority straight is where a lot of people go south.
Yeah. I am very guilty of that. I will honestly admit that. It's like, you know, getting too wrapped up in progression rather than creativity. You know what I mean? So that was a hard thing to realize from myself. It was like, you know, like it's not all about progressing and it's not all about, you know, being. I also like had like a sense of arrogance too, like bad arrogance where it was like, you know, I wanted to be better than everybody as opposed to being the best at what I can do. You know what I mean? So it was like,
that's a mindset. That's
yeah,
like
dude. Like
that's
it was
something you got to break yourself.
That was a hard realization too, because like there was so many times where like, especially when I first started off as a musician, like I would like in the first band that I was in, like we would play with a band that was really good, and I would just watch that and be like, fuck man, like they're, god damn it, like that, how do we compete with that? Like they're way better than us, we're not gonna do anything, you know what I mean? So it was like, holy shit, like god damn it. But but over as the years progressed, it became like more of like, it's not about being the best, it's about, you know, like being the best at what you can do, you know what I mean? So
yeah, I feel like that's kind of the problem with bands that get put on the wrong bill a lot.
Yeah, I mean that's an interesting topic though, because that's actually been a very common thing lately. Have you noticed that?
There's a lot of variables where that happens.
People have been doing a lot of like crossover shows and stuff like that, like especially on tours, man, and it's really successful. That's insane. That's cool. I love that. I love seeing shit like that.
A product of the scene coming back.
Yeah,
I feel like eventually that like sort of mentality is going to fade away when people start falling back into their little cliques again, when shows start coming back and
comfort zones. I hope it doesn't. Like a lot of this, like a lot of like, you know, different genres playing with different genres is fucking sick. Like I mean, it's like.
Well, I hope I'm wrong.
Huh?
I hope I'm wrong.
Yeah, I hope that it stays because it's really cool. I think it's made for like better shows in general too, because you get multiple crowds and, you know, put into one room. You know what I mean? Like I like it. I think it's really cool. It's really
honestly, it's hard for me to notice that there was a difference, really.
Yeah.
Because like before COVID, I was working with like Arcanaut,
Yeah.
and like that band didn't really match up with anybody else.
Yeah.
So it's like every single show was kind of like that.
Right.
Whereas like Arcanaut was like the odd one out in the room every
Right.
single fucking time.
Well, it also becomes a product of what you're used to as well. Like, I mean, people tend to get used to one thing, used to what they're seeing, and think that's like the only variable that matters is what they're used to seeing, as opposed to what's actually happening. Because like if you look around, there's lots of like crazy crossover tours that are happening, and like different genres playing with different genres, and dude, like that's. I mean, I think that's what that's gonna bring like a whole community of metal together quicker than anything. Is like people like different because I've as weird as it sounds, like I tend to like. I mean, the older I get, the more like I tend to not care about like subcategories and stuff like that. Like like a deathcore band versus a black metal band, or a metalcore band versus a hard like a traditional heavy metal band, or
Yeah, man, I say it all the time on this podcast. Genres are like dying.
yeah, it's still metal. Like it doesn't matter what it is. Like it's still metal. You know what I mean? It's like I said. You take and it's. I mean, subgenres are cool in a sense, but at the same time, like I feel like it also can be something that separates everything, as opposed to just calling it metal and letting everybody play what they want to play with. And in like I said, when I was fucking 17, 18 years old, I would fucking like poser ass shit, fuck this, fuck that, fuck everything, you know what I mean? Like, death metal or die, bro, you know what I mean? Or like, I got to the point where I was like, I was also a big like early metalcore fan, and I was like, early metalcore is better than the modern shit, like, whoa, but it's like in reality, none of that shit matters. Like, it doesn't really matter.
Yeah, I mean, it's all an opinion.
Yeah.
I mean, Metallica was like my favorite band for a long time until I decided I don't really have a favorite band.
Yeah. Dude, that's a good point to bring up too, because like, dude, I feel like my favorite band changes like every day.
I just admitted to the fact that I don't have one.
Yeah.
Like,
like
I don't have a favorite band. I listen to a lot of different bands. I listen to a lot of shit, like a lot of DJs. I listen to a lot of different random shit that's like not even music.
Do you like synthwave?
Synthwave is all right.
Dude,
like there's some cool synthwave out there.
Dude, I love synthwave.
I like the retro synth.
Same, dude.
The retro stuff. The stuff that sounds like it's like 80s, and they put like the tape distortion on it.
Dude,
like
stuff like
that stuff
like,
sounds cool.
Like Perturbator, or whatever that's called, or like Carpenter Brute, like that, like really retro. Like it sounds like you should be in a roller ring in the 80s, like going in a circle. Dude, I fucking love that stuff, man. I nerd out on all that kind of stuff, dude. It's so sick.
Yeah, I used to listen to a lot of that when I was doing construction. Just fucking zone out, get in the zone, like I'm digging a trench, like put on some fucking synthwave and just like
just sitting there imagining
like some computer robot sounds and just digging holes.
You're imagining that you're like
that you're relaxing.
Like I said, going in a circle in a roller ring, or
like flying through some clouds or whatever.
Some clouds, or running people over in a Mad Max style. Fucking demolition derby.
Yeah, that could be peaceful.
Yeah. Hell yeah, dude. Hell yeah.
Yeah, man. I listen right now. I listen to a lot of like Frenchcore and hardcore. It's like
what is that?
Frenchcore and hardcore. It's like the genres kind of go hand in hand. They have the same tempo.
Yeah.
But it's like really fucking hard. Like the kick is like super distorted. They put like fucking 7 layers of distortion on it.
I like hardcore music. Like I like a lot of like especially the early hardcore stuff. That stuff's really cool. I love that stuff.
You're talking about like EDM, right?
Hardcore?
EDM hardcore or metal hardcore?
Metal hardcore.
Okay, there's two different genres.
Are you talking about EDM hardcore?
There's two different genres.
Oh, I have the first coach talking about
now.
There's
Frenchcore and hardcore in the EDM world.
Okay.
And then there's hardcore in the metal world.
Okay.
It's super confusing, but they're two different genres.
Fucking subgenres.
Dude, it sucks. There's only so many words in English.
Yeah.
Like
you can only describe. You can only like. It gets to the point where you only describe music with so many genres. I feel like people get to the point where they're just describing metal genres with the thing they see around them. Like, dude, piping can, phone, headphone, computer core, dude. Fuck yeah.
Yeah, man. Like that sounds good to me. Cat and dog core.
Cat and dog. That would be sick. Cat core. Just have like dog core, like a dog growling into a microphone over like some heavy breakdowns.
It's just a bark, like super distorted.
Yeah.
I don't know, but if you like super fast tempos, like super fast, like 200 BPM kind of shit, like
Yeah.
they have like really hard fucking like beats to it.
Yeah.
But what I like about Frenchcore and hardcore is those genres specifically include a lot of melodies too. So they'll have those super heavy kick like sounds, and then they'll add like super sharp like synths on top of it, where it has like super fast melodies and it gets crazy.
Yeah.
But it sounds really cool. It's like Frenchcore and hardcore is like the metal version of EDM. It's like the metal
Dude,
of
if you
EDM.
listen to like some like synthwave music, like Carpenter Brute's a great example of that. Like you listen to like Turbo Killer, for instance, and like you just hear like the way he like places the synth and stuff like that. It's like, dude, if you were to turn that into distorted guitar, like that'd be heavy as fuck.
Yeah, it's like dark as fuck.
Yeah, it'd be like again, like even some like the slower stuff that he done. If you were to take like those synths that he had and like turn it into like the same pitch, same key, same everything, put it into like a distorted guitar with like real drums, that'd be heavy as fucking shit. Even without drums, just turning it into like something super distorted, that'd be heavy as balls. Like even like I think like the term heavy in general is like I guess a subjective thing because even synth music is fucking heavy, bro.
Some people call AC/DC heavy metal.
It is heavy, bro. Like, dude, come on, bro. If you're I don't care what anybody says. If you're at the bar and you've had like a few drinks or something like that, and an AC/DC song comes on, everybody knows the lyrics to it, bro. Regardless if you hate them or love them, everybody knows the lyrics.
There's only like 2 songs I like. It's like 2 songs that
but I guarantee you know like 10 songs.
I mean, I could name 10 songs.
You would hear them and you'd be like,
I could hear them and know them. Yeah, but I could probably hear and name more Beatles songs than AC/DC.
Yeah.
And I fucking hate the Beatles.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Like I'm gonna clear this up just so I don't get any shit for this. But the Beatles were really good and they made a name for themselves because they were pioneers for how they recorded their music.
Yeah.
It's like literally every other artist in this time that they were recording, everyone was recording with one mic in a room.
Yeah.
One mic for the entire fucking band and the singer and the fucking all the instruments, everything in one room, one mic. The Beatles were like, well, let's just put a mic on the drums and let's put a mic on this guitar and let's put a mic on my voice and a mic on this and we'll just mix them all together at the end. And people were like, what the fuck are you doing, dude? That's not how it's done. Okay. And like they're like, no, we're gonna do it anyways. Like we make enough money to where you're gonna do what we say.
Yeah.
And all the miking techniques they did are still used today.
Yeah.
Like we still use all of the same fucking miking techniques for drum kits that they did. It's like fucking nuts, man. Like they're the first ones to put a mic right on the kick drum.
Yeah.
Like there was a story. The recording engineer was pissed. He was like, "Do not put my mic on your kick drum. You're gonna fuck up my mic." And he's like, "Yeah, I'll just buy you a new mic.
Yeah.
If it fucks it up, we'll just get you a new mic." It didn't fuck it up, and it made the best kick drum sound they've ever made.
Dude, some producers will honestly say that. Like, I mean, I'm not. Obviously, this is an incredibly biased thing for me to say because I've only heard one person say this is like, a lot of like some of the best sounding kick drums comes like the most honest sounding kick drums comes from like country music and shit like that. Because like, you know what I mean?
Could be.
Yeah.
It just depends how they mic it. I mean, there's a lot of different ways to mic the drums.
Reacts to it too. You know what I mean? Like a lot of people.
Well, it depends what it's mixed with. It depends how they fucking mix it. What are they saying? The levels, the EQ. There's a lot of variables. But I mean, country, they probably don't do a whole lot of work with it other than that it smacks.
Yeah.
It just has to smack. Like
let
me know that you're hitting the fucking drum. Like boom, boom, boom. Like they probably don't put too much work into the kick drum.
Yeah.
It's probably more about the vocals in country.
It's about singing about shit that doesn't matter, but people like it for some reason.
Yeah, I mean, isn't everything like that?
Dude, I love like when it comes to country music, like there are some country music that I listen to that I'm just like, oh my fucking god, dude, like just turn it off, stop. But there's also some also like a lot of like the early country music, dude, is like some of the modern stuff that's like alluding to the early stuff is like some of the most honest music you'll ever hear in your life, dude. Like it's, I mean, them just telling tales straight from the heart. Like,
Yeah, it's like sugar rap, but
yeah,
country version.
literally. Like, I mean, like outlaw. Like, I like that meme too, where it's like outlaw country is just doom metal with like no distortion. And I'm like, that's such a good point too, because like you get like a lot of like the early, you get like all the early outlaw country music and stuff like that, and they're just singing about like the most depressing things possible. And then you listen to like some really slow, just like sad doom metal, and you're like, it's the same shit, dude. That's awesome.
Yeah, that's funny, man. Yeah. There's this country song I like called "The Car Was Upside Down When I Got Here," and it's just literally the whole country song is about this guy explaining to the police that the car was upside down when he got here. Some kids ran up and poured tequila down his back. The stop sign was on the windshield when he bought the car.
Yeah.
Like, trying to explain all this shit away. And when you said honest country song, that's immediately what I thought of. Like,
let's just like tell the most confusing story possible and try to make it like canon towards life.
Yeah. He's like, hey, officer, I don't know what happened. The car was upside down. I don't know. It wasn't me. But yeah, man, that's the kind of country music I like. The silly
country
shit.
music, dude.
I don't like the serious, sad shit. That it's like, I don't know. I can't get into it. It's too serious.
I mean, that's a hard thing for, I mean, a lot of people in general. Think like, dude, like I'll be honest with you. I feel like if people were to like listen to like the kind of music that I listen to, they'd probably think that I was like just a fucking psychopath. I listen to like the most depressing shit imaginable.
Well,
like, dude, I like the dark stuff, man. Like, I really do. I like the dark, like the darker. I mean, everybody has their own definition of like what's dark and what's like, or what's dark to them. But you know, like I think like the really slow, atmospheric, like drony, just like very melodic, but like very dark melodic stuff is just like it hits my ear for some reason. And like the most.
Well, I got a band for you.
Who is it?
Demonic Death Judge.
Demonic Death Judge.
Have you heard of them?
No, but I would like.
They're from Finland, dude.
They're from Finland.
They're from Finland. It's a Finnish fucking like doom metal band, and their sounds like their guitar riffs are like really like they have the groove metal sound.
Yeah.
But the singer is just so distorted, and he sounds so distant. And the bass is like so heavy. Like if you're not listening to it with the bass all the way up, you're not doing it right.
Right.
Like I try to listen to it on like one of those little Bluetooth speakers or like out of my phone. Like you can't hear half the song. It's like, do not even look this band up if you're not in your car with the bass setting all the way up. Like
what is it called?
Demonic Death Judge. They sound so fucking good, man. They're so heavy, but you absolutely need the bass. Like, it does not sound the same without fucking a bass speaker. And that's for all of you viewers out there. Do not look this band up on your phone. Don't look it up on a little Bluetooth speaker. Don't look it up on your fucking laptop. Blast that shit where you have a sub, okay? Because the bass is half of the music.
Yeah.
Like, it is literally the heaviest part. It's so fucking good.
Right.
Like, you can't escape it. It just rattles your whole skull.
I'm gonna check it out. That sounds cool. I love, dude. I mean, Finland in general is like just has so many good bands that comes out of it, dude. Like, I think that probably,
dude, they have time to work on music.
Dude,
they have like 3 months of vacation a year,
bro.
You know, they can do whatever the fuck they want in their life.
This is gonna sound really cliche, like mellow death fan of me to say, but like I'm pretty sure like 60% of the discography I listen to, like on a norm, is like all Finnish metal bands.
Yeah,
but like Insomnium
or Norwegian.
It's usually
Finnish or Norwegian.
Not even Norwegian bands. Like it's usually Finnish bands, dude.
Yeah.
Like Finnish or Swedish bands. Like it's like
Swedish,
fucking, usually Finland. Insomnium. Before the Dawn of Solace, fucking Enshine.
What is it with
Swallow
Finland?
Sun. I don't know. Like they just put out music that I
is it like their public schools?
Fucking love. I don't know.
They put music in their public schools?
Well, and like I mean, Finland has its like fair share of. I don't know if they have a lot of black metal too. A lot of Finnish black metal too. It's fucking awesome. Like
I'm just wondering, like
Nazarene, all fucking sick bands.
I'm just wondering, like how all these musicians come out of such a small country.
I don't know. Supposedly, like I mean, I'm not going to say exact numbers because I would be lying if I said I knew, but like a large majority of the population are in metal bands. Like
Well,
that's
well, that's what I'm saying. Like, what is it about this society or this community? Is it something like in their public schools that
I don't
like
know.
forces them to go more into music,
I
or
don't
like
think it's a force. I think
in
it's just like
or
a
not?
natural
Or
thing for
maybe that
them.
was the
Like I
wrong
think
word.
they enjoy
It
it.
like
Yeah.
enlightens them into the
Yeah.
world of music. Let's say they have better music programs in their schools or
Maybe
something, or
I don't know. I think it's just
culture.
something in the blood, something in their blood. They
It's their
just
blood. It's
they
genetics, dude.
yeah, like
They're
some
genetically predisposed
they
to
just love
play metal.
they just fucking love like they just love like heavy music. Like it's awesome. I love every like I
I
said.
don't know. Must be the Viking blood.
Maybe I don't even know, dude. Like again, like I said, I'm not from there. You know, I mean, I know some people from there. I mean, but
Yeah.
like, dude, to be honest with you, like I don't know what it is. Same thing with like a lot of the European countries in general. Just something about like, but I think Finland is the biggest one because, like I said, good port like definitely over 50%. I would say is a fair number. Over like maybe 60-70% of the music that I listen to on a regular basis is all from fucking Finland. And I don't know what it is about them, but they just put out such good music, and I think it's in their blood. I mean, but again, like Sweden's a great example of that too when it comes to death metal and everything. Like a lot of like it's a good topic to talk about a lot of times too because you tend to wonder if it's like if it's something that would become oversaturated or if it's also a good thing because you have so many bands coming out that like it really enlightens like the scene for them
Yeah.
because like for instance Arizona's another example of that as well. There's so many fucking bands, bro, but there's so many good bands, and then like I don't really pay attention, so I don't know exactly, but I'm sure that like because there's so many bands, there's a lot of light that's shed on the scene here, and a lot of bands that do get a lot of good, well deserved
Well,
attention.
along with that though, like how many other local scenes have the same like influx of talent?
Oh,
Like
dude, I
that.
I
Like
don't know.
there's
I mean, I don't know based. I haven't.
yeah, being in the local Arizona scene, you see how much talent there is here.
There's a
Like,
lot.
I wonder how much talent there is everywhere else, and
Well,
like,
I've tried.
how are records like scrambling to find talent, or are they like have the better problem of not knowing who to pick?
Right. Well, and
You
like
know?
I think that I mean I've done some traveling, not like enough. Well, okay. I'll put it like this: I did get to do a lot of traveling when I had the opportunity to play with Wolfheart, but to be completely honest with you, I didn't pay attention because I just don't pay attention in general. I'm a very
Well, next time.
I'm a very like
Next time,
fucking.
pay attention.
I'm the kind of person that just like I don't know, like I get in my own zone and I just don't. I probably should, but I'm really bad about that here too. Like I just don't fucking pay attention. I wish I would pay better attention about things, but I just don't. I don't know why. I get in my own world about things and like fucking everything around me. I just forget about it. Although there are some like key factors that do happen, and I'm just like, oh my god, that's amazing, and I will pay attention to it. But 90% of the time is like there's so many people here who are completely like just incredibly talented, and like my brain just for some reason would rather fixate on staring at a wall. Like I don't know, like I don't know how to explain it, but like as far as I'm aware, like from also hearing other people's stories as well, because that's usually tend to be where I base my judgment off of is other people's stories that like a lot of scenes around the United States. I mean, we don't know about like different countries, but like the United States, for instance, is like it doesn't have the same appeal that the state has. The state has a very, very good scene. It has a very, very, very well flourished scene as well. I mean, I will say I did play some shows in Canada, and that was fucking night and day difference. Like Canadians are insane, bro. Like those
Yeah.
people. Oh my god, bro. I love Canada. I want to go back and play there so badly, dude. Because fucking Canadians, they just I don't know what about that. It's another one of those countries that like just metal is in their fucking blood, dude. Like they
Weird.
love metal.
I never would have thought.
I mean, the shows that I got to play in Canada were fucking insane. So like
There's not as many cities in Canada, right?
that's true too. Yeah, that's very true. That's very true as well. I don't know the exact like
Oh, they don't have nearly the amount of population we have.
what the statistics were behind it, but from the experience that I had playing in Canada was fucking night and day difference. Now there are some places in the United States that are really good as well, but again, it was
I'm
such a
sure,
small.
Phoenix is no comparison to those depraved motherfuckers in Canada.
I don't don't know. I don't even remember. I mean, like,
It's probably 'cause they-
I would 90% of the shows I played my entire life were all in Phoenix, and it's been hit or miss every single time. Like, some shows are
yeah,
great, some shows suck. You know,
it's
so
weird.
I mean, I'm not.
Phoenix is not a good place to start. I don't think.
I think it is. I think it's a really. I think it's a great place to start.
I think you'd be better off starting like somewhere in like Austin or Nashville, somewhere where music is like known,
Yeah.
or like San Diego,
Right.
somewhere where there's like actually people trying
Right.
to get entertainment.
Yeah, I
Whereas
mean,
like Phoenix, it's like people are in Phoenix to work
right.
and pay rent, and like they go to shows as a supplement to their lives.
Yeah.
And it's like fucking in places like California or like not California but like San Diego specifically and like
Right.
LA or like Nashville, like
Right.
those places are like entertainment based.
Right.
Their entire economy is pretty much the entertainment.
I don't know. I somewhat disagree because I think that a place like this is a great place to start because there is like, well, it's also really supportive too. Like, people are very supportive of each other, which is that's it alone is fucking incredible. Like, I don't think that there's a lot of like competitive like mentality here. I think people just want to have a lot of people.
Not after COVID.
I think it's actually lessened even more after COVID because the people became so eager to play shows. But again, this is my opinion. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, this is all a subjective opinion.
Yeah, right.
We all got that.
I don't necessarily pay that much attention.
We're
But
just bullshitting, drinking beers here, man.
right. I mean, in my opinion, I think that maybe COVID was a good thing because it made people more eager to play shows, which it had the exact opposite effect on me. Like, I got to the point where I was like, I don't even want to fucking play shows. Like, holy shit, dude! Like, this is such a hassle.
I feel
you
like
know what I mean?
it got the same point to me. Like,
Right.
it was like pretty disparaging. I was like, actually,
Right.
like, I was literally getting into crafts, like
Right.
going into like audio school
Right.
when COVID was starting, and I was
Right.
like, "What the fuck did I do?"
Right. Well,
Like,
and
this industry is dying, and I went.
well,
like, it really depressed me.
I know. Like I said, it goes both ways. Like, for me, I got to the point, but also I had been doing it like consistently for so long that, like, I guess having a little bit of like a clear mind of not thinking about it became a bit intoxicating because I was like, fuck it, I don't have to worry about like, but I was also, it was the first thing I would think about when I wake up, and it was the last thing I'd think about when I would go to bed. You know what I mean? So it was, but at the same time, now that like, I haven't played, a show in like, or played a concert, whatever the fuck, and going on the better, coming on to like half a year, I'm like, okay, I'm fucking ready. You know what I mean? Like,
right.
I'm ready to do it again. You know what I mean? So
absolutely.
And I think that people who didn't have that opportunity, to play shows before, who may have been like show goers or people who were very new to playing in a band or something like that, I think that COVID just made them even more eager, that's going to be really good for.
I know in Phoenix it made everyone more eager.
Oh, dude,
because
yeah,
in Arizona
awesome.
we didn't give a fuck about all those.
Oh, they didn't give a shit, dude.
Like all those restrictions and whatever. The masks were like a thing for like a few months,
right?
And people really quickly stopped giving a shit.
Yeah.
Except for businesses. Businesses kind of had their hands tied. They had to require a mask.
Yeah.
For whatever fucking reason, they didn't want to get shit on.
Apparently, too, like in the United States, like across, like it was like different state to state. Like some, like people who traveled a lot would go to one state and be like, okay, this feels like there's just mandates everywhere. Then they would go across the border to a different state, and then it was just like fucking party central.
Yeah, like Vegas versus California.
Yeah, or like Arizona versus the rest of the United States. Like, dude, they didn't give a shit here.
Arizona didn't give a shit.
Yeah.
Vegas didn't give a shit.
Texas didn't give a shit either.
Florida and Texas, they didn't give a shit. Yeah. I'm sure there was a lot of other states that are probably like red states.
Right.
Like everyone was like, yeah, right.
Yeah, who fucking cares?
Okay.
You think some little virus is gonna kill me? If I go outside, I run the risk of getting bit by a rattlesnake. Like, that's more concerning to me,
I mean, it definitely, I can't say it didn't kill people. It killed people.
Right.
But it's the fact that everyone was subject to the same solution.
Oh, yeah. I mean, there's definitely, I swore off politics a long time ago. I will say that there was definitely some questionable things.
Swear off politics in America?
Oh, dude,
Good luck.
trust me, dude. Bro, trust me on this one. I was bad. I
Well,
was
the problem
fucking
is
for a long
the issue
time.
became political, and it's
Yeah.
not a political issue.
Right.
But we'll just leave it at that.
Right. I was bad. I
It's
was
not a
like,
political issue.
I mean, I'm like very obsessed with politics, but like I swore off like not talking about them in the open.
Let's not talk about it on a recording.
But I will say there were some questionable things. But stretch my arms.
Yeah, I think everyone in Arizona is. Oh, a lot of people in Arizona are on the same page.
Yeah.
But that's the reason the mask mandates didn't really fly too well here.
Yeah.
But
I worked in a retail environment. I worked at a Guitar Center during that, man. During COVID. I wasn't even there during the peak of it. I was there during when it started to trickle down a little bit.
Yeah.
Even that was fucking bad, dude.
I bet you got a lot of shit from
It was horrible. There was certain times like you had to tell people, you'd be like, hey, we have to require a mask, and then it just became instant like explosion, like fuck you, you fucking piece of shit. Like you're taking away my freedoms, all this kind of stuff. And I just got to the point where I was like, I don't even want to.
Like, dude, I'm getting paid an hourly wage.
Yeah.
To tell you this.
Yeah. Well, some people weren't even getting paid hourly. They're getting paid commission to sell stuff to people. And then they'd have to forcefully tell people to put on masks. And then the person that was coming in to buy, $3,000 worth of shit
doesn't want to buy it anymore.
Doesn't want to wear a mask. And you're like, put a mask on. And they're like, oh, see you, bye. And they left. It's like,
dude, that's what I would do.
Yeah.
When even like fucking restaurants and shit. If they were like, hey man, the biggest problem was that I would wait in line at lunch and get all the way to the register, and they would tell me, hey, we can't serve you if you don't have a mask on.
Yeah.
And that's when I would get fucking pissed.
Yeah.
But I never took it out on the employees. I would just walk out. I would just politely like keep my mouth closed and say, or not say anything. Actually, I would just. Okay, that's all I would say, and just walk the fuck out. I would just walk out because I didn't carry a mask with me.
Right.
I didn't.
Well, a health crisis is a health crisis no matter what. I mean, there was danger at play. I will say this. I think that there was a lot of danger at play with COVID, with everything, masks. I wore a mask all the time just because I wasn't the biggest fan of it, but I would wear a mask just because I didn't want to be that guy that made other people uncomfortable, because it's just attention that I don't want. Like, I don't want people first off, I don't want to, even without COVID in general, I don't want to go to a grocery store and talk to people. Like, I don't even want to have to say 3 words to somebody. I don't even want to look at somebody. I just want to go get my shit and get out, and I feel like the person that didn't wear a mask would draw a bunch of attention. So that was one reason why I wore a lot of it. And then granted, there was some people who were genuinely afraid of it, and I didn't want to be that guy that was like, okay, oh, you're afraid? Well, you fucking pussy. You know what I mean? Like, I get it, because, I was afraid at first too. I think everybody was afraid at first, in the beginning of things. So it was something that was unknown. It's the biggest thing that people fear is the unknown. They don't know. If they don't know something, it's default for them to be afraid of it. So that was.
I believe that.
Yeah, I was scared of it. I think that a lot of people are scared of it. When we genuinely tend to adapt to things differently because human beings are differently. So I didn't want to be that guy that was doing that kind of stuff. But I mean, dude, there wasn't that flicker in my brain that though when I'd see a mask mandate and be like, you know what I mean? Like, God damn it.
Yeah, I mean, I never got really angry about the signs.
Yeah.
I just ignored everything.
Yeah.
Like, maybe I'm the asshole.
Yeah. No,
but I never.
Opinions different.
The thing is, I worked out in the sun, so I knew that I was getting my sunlight.
Right.
I didn't work around a lot of people.
Right.
I was never really in huge crowds. I worked in people's backyards doing pool electric. I was digging trenches, running wires in people's backyards, working with 3 or 4 people on my crew that we rode in the same truck in every day.
Right.
It's not like wearing a mask would have fucking helped anyways.
Right.
And it's I walk into QT, I'm covered in dirt and sweat and fucking shit from working, and you're asking me to wear a paper mask.
Yeah.
What the fuck, dude?
Right.
Come on, man. That's incredible to me. Well,
it challenges people's standards of living too. That's
and I would literally just walk out without saying anything. Because I know, like, it's the employees just getting paid hourly, and their manager told
Right.
them, like, anybody not wearing a mask, tell them to fucking put a mask on.
Right.
And like, okay, they're getting paid $15 an hour to tell people to put their mask on.
Well, I don't think that a lot of people realize too how hard that was for the employees, because
I understood that it was
I saw
hard
it firsthand. I had to be the one to do it.
I could see the sadness in their eyes.
Right.
Dude, their face would turn white. And
Right.
they'd be like, sir, could you wear a mask? Like, I could see
they'd get afraid, but they would have to do it, and that was like, again, like I said, I
didn't want to.
I knew hands down, I had to do that shit, man. It fucking sucked, and it was, I wasn't necessarily like, because you would get those people that would come into like a retail environment or like an open environment, and they would just, I mean,
they're waiting for it.
They would antagonize it.
Yeah, the conflict.
Exactly. They would completely antagonize it.
They want to share this story with their family.
Those were
this motherfucker at Walmart stopped me.
Right. Those were the shittiest people. I had somebody come into, when I was working at Guitar Center, I had somebody come into the store with a fucking like phone camera ready. Like, it was ridiculous, dude. Because like he was talking about, he was like, because it was an older guy too. Like, it was ridiculous.
Like, nobody's listening to him.
Like, it was just screaming a lot of these, like, because like we made him, like, because we didn't make him, but like we asked, like, somebody in the store asked him to put on a mask basically. And he just like fucking freaked out about it and pulled out his phone camera and like turned the camera on and was talking about how he was like, I have a medical condition, I can't wear a mask, you guys are taking away my freedom, and fucking screaming at everybody and calling us all these names and stuff like that. And I was like, you do realize that you're posting people on like social media or whatever the fuck, wherever you're posting it, you're posting them on these media sites, and deeming them as the bad guys when they have to do that or they don't get paid and they can't have a living. Like, they can't make a living for things. So like, that was, and it wasn't just that one situation. I saw that so many fucking times. Like, I got to the point where I wouldn't even open social media like Facebook or Instagram or whatever, because it was so frustrating to see so many things about people talking about how like, oh, like these fucking retail workers are forcing us to put on masks and all this bullshit. And it's like, they're not forcing you to do anything.
It's not the workers.
It's not the workers doing it. It's just a mandate that they have to follow. There's nothing like, if they don't follow that, they lose their job and they don't have a standard of living.
What was crazy about it is that it wasn't actually like most of it was just corporate policy.
Right.
It wasn't even like law.
Right.
But
people would deem retail workers as these fucking horrible people who are forcing you to put on masks, and it's like, they're just doing what they're told to do, man.
Yeah,
it's not their fault. It will never be their fault. You know what I mean? Like, and that's the reason, one of the main reasons why I would wear a mask everywhere, is because I didn't want to be that guy who would draw that kind of attention. And granted, it's relieving, especially for people like I know this hands down because I'm like a very socially anxious person. I'm not the kind of person that enjoys conflict a lot of the times. So having to be the one to initiate conflict is a really scary thing. So, and I didn't want to be the one who was like forcing them to initiate conflict with somebody.
I used it as a practice of ignoring people.
Yeah, that's another good one too. Yeah, great point.
I ignored the conflict. Like, I wasn't one of the people who's seeking out conflict. I didn't want people to be like, I'm not wearing a mask. I want this motherfucker to say something. I can't wait. Dude, I want someone to fucking tell me so I can blow up on him. Like, that wasn't me. I was the guy who's like, if they ask me to wear a mask, I'm just gonna like, okay, and turn around and walk out.
Yeah.
Like, I was the invisible motherfucker who's like, all right, well, I don't want to follow your policies, so I'll leave. Like,
that's your freedom.
And like,
that is your freedom, and that's sometimes respectful.
If you want to require me to wear a mask, like, I'll fucking leave, but I'm gonna ignore your sign.
Right. Right. No.
I don't give a fuck about your sign. Like,
right. A sign's a sign. People will put signs
me and say like, sir, you need to wear a mask.
Right.
I'll be like, okay, I'm leaving.
Well, retail stores and environments in general have signs everywhere that say a multitude of different things that nobody fucking reads.
Yeah, there's a sign for the restrooms, and people still ask where the restrooms are.
Nobody gives a shit about signs. Like, a lot of times, there's people who will walk into the wrong fucking store, for Christ's sake. Like, they want to go to Kohl's, but, they walk into a fucking Dickie's barbecue, and they're like, where's the clothes at? Like, you know what I mean?
Dude.
That's
just oblivious,
right? So I don't think signs are that big of a difference. But the people that would go into stores like purposely looking for conflict, I'm like, you castrated, you piece of shit. You know what I mean? Like,
it's pretty crazy, man. And then there's the opposite side where people are looking for people without masks,
right?
they're like looking for people to fucking
Oh
vilify.
yeah, that's another great point. They're like,
you need to be wearing a mask.
You don't have a mask on,
Like,
dude.
you don't even work
You're
here.
the problem. It's
Like, you don't even work here. Get out of my face.
yeah,
Like,
fuck off. Get away from me. You know what I mean? Like, I mean, yeah.
I've had people at the grocery checkout line like, can you back up so I can get to my groceries?
Oh, dude, that happened to me. Yeah, that happened to me a few times.
Whoa.
Too. Like, there was
I'm not breathing on you. Like,
Right.
chill the fuck out.
I went to a Walmart one time, and that's a funny story. I went to a Walmart one time, and like there was this little kid. He was the sweetest kid ever. He was like the total like like social. He was probably like 3-4 years old, sitting in a grocery sitting in a sitting in like a grocery cart seat. And like I remember this, like I was walking through, and then I just hear this, and I was like, fuck was that? And I look over and it's like this little kid who was just like, hey, and like yelling at me. And I was like, okay, but he was being funny, obviously. And he puts up his hand for a high five like this. And I was like, natural instinct was like, a little kid wants a high five. Fuck yeah, dude, I'm gonna give him a high five. And I walked towards him with my hand up, and his mom like stops me. She's like, excuse me, COVID. And I was like, oh, that didn't even go through my mind. I was just like, little kid is being social and wants a high five, and I was like, fuck yeah, dude, high five. You know what I mean?
Like, your kid's gonna give me COVID.
Yeah, your kid's gonna give me COVID. What the fuck? He's trying to high five me. What the hell? that was one of those moments that I was just like, oops, sorry. I just fucking went on with my day, but I was like,
it's so silly. That kind of shit is so ridiculous.
The COVID didn't even like go through my mind. It was just a little kid yelling at me, going high five, and I was like, fuck yeah, dude, high five. You know what I mean?
That's fucking good, man.
Yeah.
I would always it always made me laugh when people would like find me in the store. They would look at me and be like, not wearing a mask as well.
Yeah.
They would look at me and be like, it's good to see someone not wearing a mask. And I'm like, okay.
You're like, hell yeah, brother.
Yeah, I'm like, all right.
Yeah.
Just trying to buy groceries. Like, I don't give a fuck about your mask or who doesn't wear them. Like, I don't give a shit.
You have a beard, so I'm assuming that wearing a mask would be a problem or be a hassle.
It's only a problem when I take it off.
Yeah.
My beard, like, does the whole loop. It, like, loops under my chin and then comes back out.
Yeah.
It's like the mask just kind of pulls it back and it looks all weird. But that's the only problem. It's really not a big deal. It actually makes it less effective.
Right.
Because there's, like, less of an airtight seal.
Yeah.
So the air just goes right through my beard. And it's like, why the fuck am I wearing this anyways?
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck? It's just making it harder to breathe. Like I'm just sweating more.
I like that. I did that. Ironically, I'm gonna bring up Joe Rogan again because I'm a fan, and obviously you're a fan too.
Yeah.
So I one of his things that he was talking about was like they watch like a doctor like vape like through
that's a good
COVID
video.
mask. Dude, I did the same thing. I was like, because I vape too. I was like,
try this.
I was like, I'm gonna try this, and I did it, and I was like, it works. Those fuckers
right through, dude.
God damn it,
right out.
Like I'm still like those like that was like conspirator moment as I was like, he vaped through a COVID mask. I vape as well. I'm gonna try this. But I was wearing one of those cloth ones though, so I didn't really have an excuse. I was like one of the cloth ones with the design on it. I was like, I thought it was cool. I was like, fuck yeah, dude. I had one of those emperor masks.
Well, even the ones you get at Walgreens, like the surgical mask in quotes, surgical.
Right.
But it's like those masks,
right?
Like they're literally just designed to prevent particulates from flying out of your mouth,
right?
To prevent spit from going out of your mouth into whatever wound you're working on.
Right.
They're not even surgical technically. Like you should be wearing one of these when you fucking put stitches in somebody.
Right. Well, and like
thing, like dude, right,
but
it's like for a virus. Like, you got to be wearing a way better mask than that.
I think that's where the whole like wear two masks things came from. Was like people were. I was like, I can't breathe through one of these fucking things, dude. You're gonna make me put a second one on? God damn, I'm gonna convulse over, dude. Like, god damn it. No. I was wearing. My favorite thing was like when wearing a mask was supposed to be. See, we weren't supposed to talk about shit like this, but now you got me going. God damn it. My favorite thing was like the masks that people were wearing. I mean, like, I'm naturally naturally a really pessimistic person, so I don't pick a side. I think people
it's all dumb. It's all stupid.
I think humans in general are just fucking stupid. But there's a side to everything.
Yeah.
Like people would be wearing masks, right? But then the masks became a fucking fashion thing, and I was like, "Oh my god,
people still wear them, dude!
Fucking delirious."
I still see people driving their car alone with a mask on. I still see it.
Right. Well, and like, okay, so the masks were a necessity, But like, I mean, even like medical professionals have literally said that there's specific masks you're supposed to wear to prevent this kind of stuff. And I get that, but people that were wearing it for a fucking fashion trend, dude, I was like, okay, this can go both ways. A, for one, if you don't believe in COVID, like if you think it's not that big of a deal, those people wearing it for fashion trends are fucking delirious. Secondly, if you do believe in it, like that it's a big issue. Those people are still fucking delirious because
You're wearing the wrong equipment.
Yeah, it's like it's not that they're wearing the wrong equipment. It's just like, dude, like like it's this is not a fashion trend. I mean, obviously people are gonna make the best out of everything, but it's not a fashion trend. It's you gotta protect. It's I don't know.
It's weird.
I would like to point out that I also thought that social distancing was like the best time of my life because I was like,
honestly, that was probably the only thing that made sense out of the whole fucking shit. In my opinion, that's my opinion. The social distancing is what helped the most.
Right. Well, the social distancing and
like making people aware of not fucking breathing on my neck.
Right. Well, and like
that is good.
Staying away from people and having, like being forced to stay home. I was like, this is the best time of my life. Dude. Hell yeah, I get to stay home and not do anything.
I don't know if that was a good thing though.
I don't got to be around people. I thought it was great.
A lot of people got.
I mean,
tricked.
It's bad for mental health, obviously, but like people who genuinely enjoyed being reclusive, like I'm obviously being selfish right now, but I was like, this is the best time of my fucking life. I'm gonna be around people. Hell yeah,
dude. I was selfish about the social distancing thing.
So just hell, I was like,
my biggest
get the fuck away from me. What the hell?
My biggest pet peeve is when I'm in a line and someone stands with their fucking toes touching my heels. Yeah. And I can feel their breath on my neck. Yeah. I'm like, what the fuck are you doing, dude? I don't know you that well. Like, get off of me.
I don't like people in
what the fuck?
I don't like people in general. So like
when they added stickers on the floor everywhere of how far you should stand away, I was like, that is exactly how far you should have stood away before COVID. Yeah, please leave the stickers.
Leave the stickers.
Like I want people to get the fuck away from me. Yeah. Like that was the best thing ever. Like I thought the mask was stupid, but I don't care if the line is longer.
Yeah.
Stand away from me. Away from me. That's great. I love it.
Yeah.
But I don't know. It's kind of a weird phenomenon that happened. Like in the modern era, there's never been anything like it.
Yeah, I mean, like like I said, there's a positive and a negative to everything. It sucks because it was bad for mental health. It was bad for health in general.
It was bad for the live music scene.
It was very bad for the live music scene.
Everyone got scared. They literally got scared to go to a show. They thought they were gonna get sick.
I was one of them, dude. I was fucking horrified to go. I was scared to even go to work because like when it first became a thing, like I was scared to go to work because there's people that got it in like the building that I was working in, and I was like, fuck, dude. Like I don't even know. They literally were giving people like, which I thought was the greatest. Like the company that I was working for at the time, I thought that was one of the coolest things they could have ever done was they were giving people like 2 weeks off paid if you were uncomfortable with like the whole scenario to stay away. And I was like, okay. See, that I can get behind, because if people are afraid of it, if people are afraid of it, but they're not being forced to show up and, be a wage slave, to hold a living like companies that are making shitloads of money are actually willing to give them, help protect their well-being and their mental health, which I thought was the most important part of this in general, again, it was a health crisis, but it was also a mental health crisis. But again, like I said, some people thought it was great. I was one of them. I was like, dude, I don't want to be around people. Fuck this.
Right.
Stay the fuck away from me.
Right, man.
Yeah.
That's good. But it's kind of a weird subject to end this podcast on. But I don't really want to end talking about COVID.
Yeah.
But tell me something about Wolfheart. Like when you went on tour with Wolfheart, is there any story that stood out specifically?
There's a lot of stories that stood out specifically.
What was your most fucked up show?
I didn't have any fucked up shows. They were all great.
They were all great?
Yeah, they all went really good.
What the fuck? What was bad about it?
I didn't have to do anything. So I was literally just playing bass.
You were just playing bass
on tour with them? I didn't have to do anything. So it was literally like, it was easy. It was really...
plugging your guitar for you?
No, but the rig that they had, so I didn't even have to bring my own equipment, dude. I just showed up and had everything ready, and I was
awesome.
Okay.
So it was like the dream,
Oh, it was sick. It was one of the...
It's a vacation.
Well, I mean, it was... Okay, so it was one of the greatest times of my life, and granted, I'm saying that from a biased perspective because I'm such a fan of theirs, you know what I mean?
Okay.
Like, I'm not gonna... It was...
Dude, I've never been on tour with any band.
Right.
So...
It was... Okay, so it was... may not be the last time. But anyway, so like it was, yeah, it was one of those situations to where it was a dream come true, and I 100% have like I mean, for I admire those guys like a lot. You know what I mean? So it was really hard. It was easy from like a logistical perspective, but from a mental perspective, it was one of the hardest things we've done in my life. Like because I was
A lot
I
of
had,
pressure.
yeah, well, it was pressure I caused on myself.
Oh,
you know,
yeah.
because
Yeah,
I
of
mean
course.
they were all confident and everything like that, but I was like, fuck, dude, like. I've only ever played locally. I've never done anything like this before. Like, you know,
Yeah, you're like
holy shit.
you're like, oh man, I hope I
I'm
do this well. And they like
scared,
just slap you on the back.
scared as
Oh,
fuck.
you'll be fine, dude.
Yeah, like literally
Like,
that's what
you're
happened.
just like, oh god.
Okay, I do have one story actually.
Go for it.
That was funny as hell. So the first three shows that we played went really, really well. And like I mean really well, and I was getting so many compliments from the guys. They were like, "Dude, this is great! Like, you know, fucking, you know, like amazing! Like, you know, we're doing really good and all this kind of stuff." And then we had showed up. I think it was a venue in Canada, and we showed up to a venue in Canada, and like, I mean, I have like a really goofy stage persona. You know what I mean? Like, I say a lot of stupid shit. You know, like I just that's just how I am. Like, I'm not like the best front man on the face of the earth. You know, I just go up there and say shit off the top of my head.
Sure.
And I basically like I walked into the venue. I think I just woken up. Like I just woken up and it was like 2 in the afternoon, and I walk into the venue while like the headliner's setting up, and the sound guy for the band he was up on stage like standing in my spot, like mimicking me and making fun of me, and I was like mimicking like my stage banter and stuff like that, and I was just like, I was like all pumped up. I was like, "Fuck yeah, dude!" Like my idols told me I was doing good, and I walked in, and one of them just up there fucking like mimicking me, and I was just like, damn. But obviously, it was one of those.
Bad or was
No. It was like they were just fucking around, obviously. But like, it was like it was.
They knew you were the substitute, though,
right?
so
And
they
that's
were
why
fucking with you on purpose.
Yeah,
like,
no, it wasn't on purpose. It was fucking hilarious, dude. Like honestly, thinking about it, I was like, oh my god, bro. Like
I
that
wish
was
you had a video of that.
Yeah, it was. At first, I was like, damn it, you know what I mean? Like I was all heartbroken. I was like, fuck, dude.
So
like
one of the sound dudes from like Children of Bodom or what?
no, it was Wolfheart sound guy, and like he was like, but he was doing it because he's a cool guy. He's like we're friends.
He's just
He's
fucking around.
a cool guy. He was just fucking around, obviously.
Yeah.
But like because
That's
I was
funny.
so scared, I was pumped up. I was like, they gave me all these compliments, and the next day I walk into the venue, and then there's sound guys up there like making fun of me, and I was like, fuck, dude, god damn it.
Oh well,
You know, that was I think that was the one moment that did stand out, and it was like it's a funny story to tell because at first I was like, oh. And
you're like, I don't even know what to say.
I don't even know what to say because I thought he was being serious, you know. And then it finally, like, I got it. I was like, oh, he's just kidding. Obviously,
That's funny.
you know. But it's also like, I think when people make fun of you, sometimes like it's also a sign of love because they're like, you know,
they're comfortable to make fun of you.
They're comfortable to make jokes.
You don't make fun
you.
of strangers most of the time.
It's just like when you're talking to your best friends and you're, you know, calling them all these names and shit like that. You're not doing it to be a dick. Well, maybe you are, but you know, you're doing it because you love your friends and you're comfortable saying that shit around them.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
I'm not a dick to strangers.
Huh?
I'm only a dick to people I know.
Oh, I'm a dick to strangers. That's why I said social media.
Maybe
social
I'm a dick to strangers.
Social distancing was great because then you can
matter of subjective, isn't it?
Because then you had a reason to be a dick to people because like, they come up close to you, you need to be like, dude, get the fuck away from me. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I don't know. Maybe I was a dick and I just don't recognize it as being a dick. Maybe
you're just naturally an asshole. You don't realize it.
Maybe. That's
you're not an asshole.
Okay.
No, you're not.
All right, man. Well, it was good having you on. This is a good conversation. And man, we'll have you on again for sure.
Thank you. And good night. Evening. What time is it?
Good night, evening.
Fuck off.
Hey, it's good of a closure as any, right?
Just kidding. That was a joke. Don't take that seriously. I love everybody. Fuck off. Fuck off.
Yep. Everybody fuck off from Nathaniel Cates.
Big kisses all around.
All right. Later, man.